Hello and welcome back to Roll the Bones. My name is Rob, and as ever, I'm joined by my wonderful, intrepid, and gifted players. That is Mike, Matt, and Dom, and I ask them the immortal question, the question I always ask: what happened previously on Knights of the Apocalypse?
You heartlessly killed new characters.
Oh yeah, that happened first. The dwarves.
Yeah.
The dwarves, yes, we saw to the north of the realm in Nurendel.
Yes, in the command of Bar.Blackpick. Is that right?
Bardo Blackpick, yeah.
Bardo.
Up by the... Oh no, I was really hoping it'd come to me as I spoke. What's the name of the... What was the name of the episode?
The Undercroft.
No, the...
So beyond the Undercroft,
Rift.
there is a no man's land known as the Rift, and that's where we join
The Rift.
a new
That's the one.
character and some temporary new characters as well.
Very short new character.
Yeah, so it was Mike's new character, Runic,
Mm.
who was a dwarf. A dwarf with strange abilities and who'd not really spent a lot of time underground.
No. Didn't really get a chance to fully show them off as well, but that's okay. That will come in time. But I can't actually remember your guys' names.
You heartless.
I can't
Piece
remember my
of
guy's
shit.
name either.
Norbik
got my note.
and
Oh my god.
Oleg.
Oleg. Yeah, come on.
Norbik and
Thank
Oleg.
you.
I'm upset with myself because I was really proud of that name. Yes, we were with the Deep Wardens, and Runic was with the Deep Wardens, but as a sort of
Guide
a consultant.
Oh, consultant, yeah.
I sort of get the impression that he was someone that maybe knew a little bit about the gate that they were going to see, or maybe a bit about the creatures that they might face coming out of it, or something like that. He had some knowledge they required, and then they came across the gate, and then it all went
Horribly
horribly
wrong.
wrong.
Well, it started out okay. It just swiftly got worse, and then got worse again, and then got much, much worse.
It got worse, yeah, in very, very swift increments, didn't it? It was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
here's a mouse, and then Godzilla steps through. Yeah!
Was it Cranium Rats?
Yes. It was Cranium Rats, and then it was Intellect Devourers.
Yeah.
From the film.
Bigger versions of the ones from the films, but yes.
Yeah. Yes, actually they were. The ones, well, Intellect Devourers are normally quite a bit smaller than that. I thought, yeah, they were large, weren't they? Big beasties. But we still took care of them. We did all right.
Yeah, and
We
then
seemingly did better as these characters, these low-level characters, than we normally do as ourselves.
Sometimes
they all
it pays just
pretty
to
well,
be able to
didn't
hit
they?
things, doesn't it? Sometimes it's just good to be able to
Weirdly.
smash something. Exactly, yeah. Yep. Yes.
until some larger threats came through. Mind Flayers, Beholders,
Giant
Yes.
mind flayers.
Aboliths.
Yeah.
Yeah, you learned it was Aboleth all along. You were faced with an insurmountable force coming through the northern gate. And as that was occurring, we found out later on, but we'll just discuss it here now, that the last thing that Runic saw before he was taken out was an image of a strange man looking through like a shard or like a gap in reality, exclaiming, "What the fuck?"
What the fuck?
Which was the appropriate response, I think.
And And meanwhile, back in the west of Main Realm, we returned back to Orenthale, where we returned into the ruins of this Temple of Pelor that's seemingly been built over and is now like a subterranean, forgotten structure. And that is where we rejoined Obsidian and Ansel, where they made a swift retreat. What happened then?
Yeah, they did. They got the hell out of Dodge. Realizing that Obsidian had used like every high-level spell he had that would allow him to summon something to fly back out of the hole, they decided not to jump into the hole on that day. And so, yeah, they buggered off.
They slunk home with their
bravely
tails
ran
between
away.
their legs.
Bravely ran away.
Oh, they did.
They went back to Graves and Co. and sort of were a bit shell-shocked and mildly irked by the loss of their friend.
Just mildly irked. Not upset, just acquaintance. Work colleague.
Brief travelling companion. Now, they were gutted. They were, they were absolutely mortified. Obsidian was sort of in shock, I think, by witnessing this.
And Ansel had a honest conversation with him as well.
Yes.
Yeah, about how after this is all finished, he should stay with his family and
People like
the life of
Silaster and
adventure.
Ansel won't be missed. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Will not be more.
That was the essence.
Yes.
Yeah, then was it the same day? No, it wasn't. We had the night time, actually. It was in the morning, I think.
When
was
our
it?
good friend Swiftstone returned.
Swiftstone arrived. I can't remember if it was on the same night or if it was the following day. We'll say it was the following day, I think. Just Obsidian spent the night trying to look up Snow Elf, Elven mostly, but specifically Snow Elf kind of funeral rites and things to see Silaster done right by. And then they went to sleep. And then Swiftstone arrived.
Ansel also had his vision through the looking glass during the night. That's when that occurred.
That was, yes. He saw a dwarf.
He saw many dwarves.
He saw a bloody mass of dwarves.
He saw some dwarves without faces that had their brains eaten out of. He saw...
What would one call a collective of dwarves?
A curmudgeon.
A curmudgeon. That's quite good, actually. I like a curmudgeon of dwarves. Yeah.
You also took note of the gate that appeared to be rippling with immense power as well, Ansel, as you looked through.
Unlimited power.
Yes, and had shouted the same exclamation back to Runic. So when it came to you meeting him on the front doorstep of Graves & Co., it comes a bit of a shock.
Yes. I can't remember exactly how we addressed it. I think Ansel said, "I know you," and then they sort of...
You both said, "What the fuck?" again, like in the same way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
That's
like
the one.
a beautiful D&D meet cute.
Yeah. The only suggestion, Runic used an ability, shall we say, to show Ansel what he had seen.
Yeah, but he
Instead of
had to
describing.
ask permission, didn't he? Because he tried, and Ansel...
He just kind of just did it anyway.
For God's sake. Yes, so we could...
Consent, Runic.
Yeah. Before you start invading minds. So we saw the vision in full.
Yes.
Now, there was back and forth about what had happened to Silaster, but obviously we already know what happened to Silaster, and that was explored in detail the session before. So that was recapped about how he fell as he was slain, and that because Runic seems to have some kind of knowledge about what's going on with these gates, and also he just seems like to be useful in a pinch. Swiftstone encouraged Runic to go with the strangers back to recover Silasta, having learned that's where he was. They were like, you can't leave him down there, you need to get back there as quickly as possible. So off you went, back down into the darkness, where Runic was introduced to an entity of the darkness, the caller of the darkness, which is still within the necromantic grasp of Obsidian. And then returning to
how many more days?
Yes, 8 more days now. And yes, you return to the great pit where Silasta had fallen, and efforts began to recover his body. What happened then?
We found a bloody door down there, which we should have taken. Because I used the summon and flew back out, not realising there was a doorway that just led back out. Because I figured it was an extra path deep below the place that would lead to some deeper depths, which was not the case. And then we progressed further, made it across the room where Silasta fell.
Yep. Found a sundial.
We did. We managed to suss out the sundial in a couple of different ways and opened up a secret door that had some treasure, which we love. Treasure. And then opened another door that led us into a long corridor that had a friend? Not a friend. Not a friend. Business.
Definitely not a friend.
A business acquaintance.
A dealer.
A dealer, yeah.
The dough guy.
A dealer of stuff, the dough guy. Who is a devil, I believe.
Yes, as I mentioned before, there are very rare entities that manage to escape the bonds of the infernal 9 hells, and some of them have the audacity and the skill to go freelance. The dough guy is no different, a very high-level assassin devil who has taken to lingering in places where only the best adventurers may come across him, because only the best adventurers have access to the goods that he requires. So that is why he lingers in these dark places, and it is in this such a dark place you discovered him.
It felt like a little dig at Trick, because Trick has exactly this. He's a devil who managed to free himself of the bonds, but didn't go freelance because that would be too scary. Is now a familiar instead.
He just found other employment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he made us offers, the Dogo, of treasures and trade for things of value, which we considered and did not take on the spot because
too scary.
Sort of thing that would take more discussion than time that we had at that point. So we thought about it. We'll go back to him at some point with more of a sure hand as to what we actually want to get from him and sell to him.
Okay, yeah, and then you moved on away from the dough guy.
We did.
He gave you a rather intimidating. He shared an intimidating conversation with you, making reference to the flaming chest that he appears to keep his goods in, but also you can hear thousands and thousands of screams from as well. So we put that to the back of our minds as we continue to the last section of last session, where you went into a chamber where there was a tall pillar, and it had two
with chains, right? It was
two chains that could be moved with cranks, or on either side of the pillar, with some kind of mechanical device that led into the pillar. And Runic and Ansel set about trying to activate it. What happened then?
We got a little befuddled.
Comedic.
Yes.
Comedy genius is what it was. Kept turning it the wrong way. Even though you knew which way to turn it, kept turning it the wrong
It wasn't
way.
happening for us.
Almost as if it was misleading you, playing tricks on your mind. Eventually, though, we did manage to activate it, which may have been a mistake, because it seems it has led to more confusion.
It let out a sound?
I did.
That's right.
A
Yeah.
ringing?
Yeah. There was an alarm which began to just sound out throughout the darkness of this place. And as you were trying to use the device, every time you tried to do something, there was a very even chance that you may do exactly the opposite. First, that show manifested in you trying to turn the levers the wrong way, and then when it came to you trying to run away, some of you ran in opposite directions, some of you ran back into the room from whence you had come, and that...
I believe we had one of us, I don't know which of us it was, got quite a good spellcraft. I want to say spellcraft check.
I believe
and
you did.
Discovered that it was a guards and wards spell, which we know the spell is all over the dungeon and causes all sorts of fun effects that we are now going to have to face. Joy.
And that is where we will rejoin the strangers.
Just running headfirst into a wall.
Well,
currently.
this is it, and I think we're going to begin with you, Runic. You feel like you've been running for some time. You can't tell how long. It could be minutes. It could be dozens of minutes. All you know is that there is sweat wringing from your brow as you hurtle down corridor after corridor after corridor that spiral in many directions all around you. Staircases that lead into other staircases. Doorways that lead nowhere at all that force you to turn around and run back the way you had come. Obsidian, you, however, seem for a second to not be able to see anything at all. You are surrounded by a thick layer of fog, and like the caller in the darkness, it's almost like you can see strange figures in the mist watching you, guiding you into odd paths that lead you to swampy terrain. And Ansel, you appear to be in a space filled with dazzling magical light that appears to, like will-o'-the-wisps, draw you deeper and deeper into the darkness. Suddenly, the three of you find yourselves running back in towards the area where you had just left, besides the device. Potentially out of breath. You don't know how long you've been affected by this, but some confounding, confusing effect is savagely changing every action that you decide to make, and is confusing you with illusions. What do you all do?
This is absurd.
This is magic, and it's going to be very difficult to get out of it. I could attempt to use Dispel. But
Yes.
I believe with Dispel, because I think it's multiple effects. I don't know what the effects are, but there are multiple effects of that, and I think I'll only be able to dispel like one at a time, or one specific little area. I don't really know, but I can try.
You can give me another spellcraft check, Obsidian. But make sure it's a good one, because if you fail, then you might learn something confusing.
Yeah, it's not good or bad. It's 17. It's average.
This must be some kind of evocation effect. The energy, the damaging power from this totem is insurmountable. As you guess completely the wrong thing.
Oh, really? No, I don't know what the spell is now.
You know what the spell is, but that was for you to try and ascertain something else about it, and as you sort of try to think hard about it, it's almost like your mind was starting to change about the whole thing.
Okay.
Oh dear.
But what does remain is that you know that the pillar, the totem, is the source of this power.
Well, I mean, I can try dispel.
Yeah, certainly you'll be able to.
I don't
Now,
know whether it's gonna work or not, but I mean, it's worth a go.
yeah, you may absolutely give that a go. Now, dispel is, if I'm not mistaken, is a roll of a d20 plus something, correct?
Yeah. So that would be the first time I've actually used it. So give me a second. You make a dispel check. It's 1d20 plus your caster level, maximum plus 10. But that's right. I'm only one off that anyway.
Ooh.
So it is 1d20 plus your caster level against the spell or against each ongoing spell currently in effect on the object or creature. That's a targeted dispel. Or I can try and do an area dispel. That will only affect everything within 20-foot radius. Might be better, though, in that it might clear multiple effects from a 20-foot radius as opposed to a targeted, which means we'll have a 20-foot radius of being able to think clearly for a minute. But if we think the spell is probably just coming from this thing, then maybe it's better to do a targeted dispel.
Yeah,
first.
I think you can still surmise that it's coming from that, but it's up to you.
We'll go with the targeted dispel. So it's 1d20 plus your caster level, and the DC for this dispel check is 11 plus the spell's caster level.
Oh, okay. Hang on 1 second.
I
do have it.
So it's 11 plus the spell's caster level. If you succeed on a particular check, that spell is dispelled. If you fail, that spell remains in effect. Oh, okay. So if there's multiple spells, if there's multiple effects on the same thing, then every single I have to roll for every effect on the thing.
So it's effect, not spell, is that right?
For every effect, I think, yeah. Or, well, I don't know, actually. Hang on.
We'll make a
an ongoing spell.
Yeah, I think it's the spell. So if you want to make your dispel check, I will let you know what happens.
Okay, so as I got an item to help with this earlier, I will use it.
Yes.
I got a cord, a dispelling cord, which is a knotty cord that is tied, I can't remember, around my neck, probably, or across me.
That. Yeah, across you.
And I'll just give a little thumb, one of the knots, slightly as I'm casting, and that gives me a +2 on this as well. So 9, 10, 11 in that case, plus a d20 roll. It's a 20. It's not altogether terrible.
You actually are pressing this knot, and it's almost like you unraveling the knot unravels the magic that is coming from the large pillar as you successfully dispel the effect. DC 19.
Hey.
So,
that was close.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it like as you use this power for the first time in Obsidian? As you you use the item for the first time. What else does it look like?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's the first time I've used the spell as well. It's really thought about this one, to be honest. I would imagine that it's some sort of drawing ability. So he draws the power and then casts it away. So he rubs the knot on this cord, which sort of boosts him slightly, and it gives him a sort of a slight glow. And then he, using his other hand, draws the power out like a sort of spectre of the thing that it's cast on. So the pillar looks like it's got a kind of echo before it shatters and disperses into the atmosphere.
Incredible. And as you do so, you notice, and Ansel, because you were looking at this thing with your magical vision, you had noted before that there was this really strange corruptive warding energy linked with the door which is still here, but for some reason it isn't showing up. I don't know why. Oh, is it because secret's on? Is that why? No. Well, at the end of the corridor there is a door there. I don't know if it's showing for you guys, but it doesn't come up on mine for some reason. Anyway, that appears now to be no longer locked by magical means, but only by mechanical means.
Didn't we have a knock?
We've got a scroll of knock, I believe.
Give that a wee go.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, so you can use that, certainly. And are you using that at the door itself?
That was a wand. Wand of knock, 10 charges.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, let's use it on the door itself.
Do you need to do any kind
Using
of
on this door in the corridor?
Yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, so we'll want to be out here, looking at it.
Do you need to do a check to see if you can convince wands to work as well, Ansel? I don't remember.
I would normally, but it's all of its numbers are below my use magic device ability of I can take 10 plus my skill, which is 18. Oh no, it's not. It's 16 on anything that's not a scroll. So we'll have to roll. I'll have to get more than a 10.
Okay.
Basically, I need a 11 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
I won't add the bonus because
Fingers crossed.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah, you point the wand at the door and you give your threatening command to it. What do you say to the knock wand to make it work?
I love that it's threatening. That idea. Work, you bastard!
If you know what's good for you, you'll do what you're built for.
It's like the wand. The wood gives kind of like a reflexive flinch as like you whisper those words, and as you do, you can hear both of the cogs now turning fluidly in the correct motion on the pillar, and you can now hear some massive counterweight moving from behind the wall. You have successfully managed to unlock part of this door, it would seem.
Part, you say?
As in, you've activated one part of a larger lock. Like entering the first part of a combination.
Interesting.
I see. Does that mean it's probably got more than one lock on it?
Yeah, you can give me a dungeoneering check or any check that you think would help you with engineering or with crafting things or anything like that, or unlocking things.
Oh, I've got dungeoneering.
You can give me a dungeoneering roll then, please.
20.
You think that just that? Yeah, this must be this. Like I just said, there must be another part to this, and. You suspect the way that this structure is been constructed. Runic, you can add a +2 for stone cunning as well. You feel like the other one must be in a maybe symmetrical position, or at least nearby, for it to work. So,
do we think it's on the opposite side of this largely symmetrical dungeon?
I think we do.
We don't know if the whole dungeon is symmetrical.
that's true.
Well, we don't know that the whole dungeon is symmetrical, but up until this point, like if you look at where we came in and off to one side and the way the doors are set out, it looks like it will be at least similar going the other way. But that is a massive assumption. So we should just go and have a look.
That we should.
Yeah, so at this point, the only way forward is actually back the way you came.
All right, Gandalf.
Yes.
It appears the only way forward is to go back the way we came.
So you begin making your way back down where you had come. Then you pass the sun. Well, it actually depends.
What? When was that smoke there?
Oh yeah, so that you see actually some smoke is wisping away from the guards and wards. Had you not dispelled it, that would have become worse. So well done. It's gone.
Ooh,
very lucky.
You see the smoke wisping away. You fear that it would have been almost impossible to have seen ahead of you had you not made that save. So,
Well, thank you very much to that item.
yes.
Because without it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made that save. So
It's always nice to have a item that gets immediate use.
Yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
happy. And
quite yummy.
there we go.
Very pleased.
You pass the makeshift forge of the dough guy. You can hear the ka-ding, 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 as he continues to temper some infernal weapon or other. He doesn't look up from his work as you walk by, but you kind of get the feeling that he knows you're there. The caller in the darkness seems to lead the way, wisping as you continue to move in this 80s music video you appear to have constructed for yourselves. It's followed by smoke the whole time. You see that there is a door there that you've not yet explored, and there is obviously back the way you came further. You remember there's some doorways that way when you first entered this great chamber, of this great ruin of a temple.
Well, there's no harm in having a look.
Yeah. So what when you say having a look, what do you mean? Going back to that door there?
I think going back to the main chamber.
We can just
You
crack
don't
this
wanna
door
miss-
open. Have a look
Just
what's behind.
Sneak up
Where are you guys? What door are you looking at?
Right.
the sundial room.
Oh, yeah, there's another door. I totally forgot there was another door there. I thought we'd explored.
No, that's right.
'Cause we went into this other chamber.
Yeah, up there was where
Yeah.
the concealed treasure was that you had learned the position of from that tablet you discovered on a different adventure in the sewers, or earlier in the adventure in the sewers. Yeah, there's a door there.
Runic. I mean, help yourself.
You're wearing a red shirt.
Yeah, for sure.
You see before you, Runic, quite a solid, well-made door. It is lined with iron. Feel free to click it if you want to open it.
Well, let's have a look then. Runic thinks to himself for a moment and goes, "I'll be fine," and then fails to open the door. And
You pull the
padlock appears.
handle, and it's just appears to be locked.
Embarrassing.
Well,
Is it a pull door? Nick, do you need to pull it?
No, it's a locked door. You need to threaten your stick again.
yeah. I mean, if only we had a rogue.
Yeah.
We don't. We have a wand, and that is all.
And it's only got
it's up to
8 uses left.
8 more charges.
I do
But
have
I
an
will gladly threaten the stick once more.
Threaten the stick.
Yeah,
So you're
so
going to use the wand of knock on that door as well, then.
first I will check if it's magic, because I'm not going to use a mundane
It opens
unlocking
magic.
device.
It
Is
opens
it? Oh.
magic doors. The spell knock opens magically locked doors.
I'll also double check in case it's trapped, which I should have done before.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
certainly
that it
can.
doesn't. Perfect.
I mean, it would only be a magical trap I could see. I can't see mundane traps.
You don't see any. You don't see any magical means of locking this door. This is mundanely locked, it would seem. Just looking at it, you don't sense any magic coming from it. Sorry, Ansel.
Excellent. You fucking...
The wand appears to grow a backbone and resists your intimidation to cast it.
It's a remote
Does it
control
use a
with low
charge
batteries.
or not? Do you know?
It does.
It does. Cool.
Same if you fail a scroll, they burn up. They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Roughly, you said this was like stone and iron, just iron.
Iron and solid oak of some kind.
Oak.
Yeah, oak or some solid wood, yeah.
I mean, potentially, but I'd have to spend quite a bit to do it.
Let me try one more thing. I will attempt to... Is the lock distinct from the door? Can I shatter it using shatter? Or would that affect the whole door?
That would... I mean, it affects what you aim it at, so...
Yeah.
Shatter is really good against inanimate objects, particularly this kind of situation, but it's up to you. I mean, you're already very painfully aware that you've made a very loud noise in this area already by setting off that alarm that has only recently stopped, so it's up to you. You know shatter will be loud, but it will probably get the job done.
In for a penny, in for a pound. I'll shriek and the cry will join me. And the shade also joins, but silently.
Yep. United, a trio of crescent power, you scream at the door. Now, Shatter does a certain amount of sonic damage to structures, I believe. Do you have it in front of you?
Shatter creates a loud ringing noise that breaks brittle non-magical objects, sunders a single solid non-magical object, or damages a crystalline creature.
Oh, great. Well, this will sunder the single non-magical object, which is this door. There is a splintering sound then. Wood and iron bolts just break away. And this door now hangs sort of loose in its hinges.
Very nice.
Ansel will look at the wand still in his hand and say, "Who needs you?" and puts it back in his bag.
Very good. The door now sort of like hangs from its hinges, like I said, but it can be opened now, I believe.
Oh god!
Yeah, you open the door and you see a vast diamond-shaped chamber. You see two massive lengths of chain that run through a mechanism that is like fitted into the wall, and there is exactly the same one on the opposite side as well. And yeah, this totem is in there directly ahead of you. Another massive relief, rusted, of a sun, depicting the sun god himself, Pelor, or at least the relief of his symbol. You can each give me a spot check on entering the room. Depending how good it is will depend on there are a number of details that you could potentially pick up here as you come in.
It's about standard for me. 6.
12.
22.
Well, that's lucky.
That is.
Runic, you can make that 24 because the totem itself is stone, and you can sort of feel like stone-like powder in the air. This totem has recently moved, just like the other one would have before. You can see as well that there is a glint upon the rusted thing that's at the top of this totem, and as you look up, you see that half of the ceiling above has jutted open, and there is a glint of some kind of mirror-like surface that appears to gleam with brilliant light, but only half of it is kind of exposed, and it's quite dusty as well, so for a moment it's hard for you to see, but you see that there is actually a light source up there. You suspect that whatever you did with the other totem has opened something above. With that roll?
Well, I reckon that's our main lock. Ah! So I just saw the living shadow appear. Not living shadow, the caller in the dark.
Yeah, so, but as you're able to look around, I mean, it's like a grand chamber. You can see that there are carvings of the sun god around, and the many different positions of the sun, and also you see reliefs of Valdenor as well. You see reliefs of the draconic line of the city, and how it has been blessed throughout the ages with many patrons of draconic nature as well, all basking beneath the brilliance of a gleaming sun. Yeah, that's what you see.
Well, I don't think we should turn any of those things just yet. The more you know.
No,
I think we need to explore every nook and cranny of this place first, so that we're not caught off guard. I think we were a bit rash before.
I think this ties into what we've already turned before.
I think it probably does, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, there's 4 things coming off of it. Does it look like one of them, say like this one, looks like it's different than the other? Like one's been turned or one's been affected.
Like it's tighter or looser.
I'm wondering if the fact there's 4 chains means there's actually 4 of these pillars in this dungeon.
So,
or is one side different to the other, so then maybe 2?
So these don't look like these can actually be turned from this position here. Those 4 there look like they're feeding up from the floor, leading from the chains in the walls. So these don't look like they're actually pulled. These chains in this area are pulled at all. This is just looks like this is what connects it to the ground and then up into the device in the center of the room.
Right.
So those 2 chains on either side of the wall are kind of like feeding in through to this thing, as it were.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's likely then that whatever we turned on the other thing has already moved the chains. But it's hard to tell they're not moving now, but like that we've affected this somehow.
So you can tell
already.
that those 2, with that roll from Runic, you can look at those chains and see that they've recently moved. The ones on the left side of the chamber where you're all standing currently have recently moved.
There's the dust underneath.
Yeah.
I stand by what I said, guys. I think we should not do anything in this. We should explore everywhere before we, even if we find the other pillar, I think explore the whole place first. I'm assuming it's going to unlock this door. That's a sort of guess on my part, only because I think this leads... I don't know. I'm trying not to sort of zoom out too much on the map, but that is in the direction, at least, of where the other door was we partially unlocked.
That would be a fair guess, given that the door like ahead of you is the most ornate. It is wrought sort of steel metal, and it has like it is got like one carved image of the sun upon it, dusted and rusty as it is in these later years.
Is it possible to do some sort of check to try and work out exactly what the thing does? I'm thinking you use magic device.
Yeah, definitely.
Check. Definitely. I don't trust moving planetary bodies overly to be without their own desires and 19. Poor roll, but I've got such a lot of ranks in it.
Amazing. That's really that's actually more than enough for you to tell that this is to all of this is it is an elaborate measure to ensure that to allow light to come from above effectively. And whatever lies in here is going. This one in the middle looks like that it is something's going to happen with the gap that Runic saw above, but it's only half open at the moment.
And
you can give me a religion check
Sorry.
at your You can give me a religion check at your leisure. Please continue.
I will give you a religion check, but it was just a thought. This is more of a safety measure, really, rather than. But maybe you could. I can do it, but you're better at it than me. You do it more easily. The detect magic on this pillar to see if there's some sort of dormant spell, like on the other one, that when we activate something, it will kick off and cause some effect. So that we're better prepared. And my knowledge religion, oh dear, is only 12.
My knowledge religion was 25.
Wow.
Gosh. Are you religious, Runic?
You Bible
He's-
basher.
Are you asking him, or is he?
Well, I don't actually know that you rolled a 25, so
No, you haven't. Done
until you
No.
reveal the information, I couldn't know that you are or are not religious.
Yeah, well, Runic, you know well that a mirrored, reflective device would have been fitted into many temples of Pelor back in ancient times, when there was more of this kind of craftsmanship active in the world. This would ensure that sunlight would reach any place in the temple when it was at its height. A lot of the time this would be for symbolic means, but for this it seems this in particular is a way of having something guarded, and sunlight is the only way to the sunlight is effectively protecting this thing, but it's also the means to pass by. So it is very much in line with the fact that this is an ancient place of Pelor. What is a miracle to you, however, is that light is coming from there at all, because you, for a fact, know that this place has been buried over. So wherever that mirror system goes, it must go pretty far up into the many things that have been piled on top of this this old ruin.
It's a common ancient security device. It was in all the temples, most of them.
You're a man of the gods, a dwarf of the gods, Runic.
No, the parents were, but not me.
I see. Something occurs to me. Given this is a temple of Pelor and the sun god, this temple couldn't be reached by a vampire, could it? Couldn't be activated at night, and it could only be activated with the sun.
That seems like a fair assumption. If one has to pass through the sun directly to actually get through the door.
Well, when the mirror activates, I imagine this room will be flooded with sunlight.
Yes. I'm wondering if the door will stay open once it's been activated, or if at night time when the sunlight fades, it recloses again. It's kind of a...
Do we have any way of knowing that based on the things we've seen, DM?
What was the last check we made? I mean, Runic, you, from your role previously regarding this being like something that would be in an ancient temple like this, you think that what Obsidian has said is perhaps accurate, but there's nothing to stop someone from putting mechanisms in place to prevent the doors from closing once they're opened. But if sunlight's meant to be the way in, then yeah, it's pretty key to at least getting the thing open.
Yeah, and if you were trying to protect yourself from a vampire, you wouldn't want to, would you? Block the doors open. No.
No, my worry is that have we seen Grin in the daylight?
Don't actually think we have.
Yes. Ish. When he was impersonating Skadi.
No, that was at night time.
Yeah,
That was afternoon.
Afternoon.
The first time we met him.
Oh, the first time we met Skadi. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. I don't think he's a vampire.
You can do a religion check if you like.
I don't have knowledge religion.
Only 15.
You can add
29. Runic paid attention to what his parents did.
Well, hang on. Has Runic met Grin? I don't think Runic has met Grin, has he?
He has
not.
not. Avoid that.
Okay, yeah. So we'll add half your level on top of that, Obsidian, as it's been like 5 levels, I think, dealing with Grin. So I think it's, I think it's apt.
Half rounded down before, so 19.
You would know if he was undead, Obsidian. You're pretty confident that if Grin was undead, you would have sensed it. The foul creature does appear to exude a life of its own, as toxic and as terrible as it is at his life. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, on top of that, it's sort of just thinking about his position. Like, a vampire is always going to want somebody, a decent helper to be usable during the day, right? So he's not going to have a vampire as his right hand. He's going to have a stupid ogre mage that is a dick. Okay.
I guess my worry. My worry is that we're opening this for the vampire.
Maybe.
Why would?
But we can close it again, and it's during the day. At
Can
the
we?
moment. Well, if it closes again from the darkness, then look at it this way: if it opened with the light, and just stayed open then forever, he would have done it already, because he doesn't need to be in the room with the light. He would just wait until it went dark and then go in. And if that's not the case, if it closes again at night time, well, we don't have to stop it doing that. So then he doesn't have access either. Also, Grin could have done it for him if he's able to get past it with the light.
Yeah, it worries me that it's a temple of light. It worries me. Shouldn't stop us exploring anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should definitely carry on exploring.
So a door to the south, you estimate, would lead back to roughly where you began your expedition. That is not difficult to tell. Room above.
It's locked.
It actually is, yeah, it is.
Yeah. I don't know whether we should try and open that door to give us more options for escape if things go badly. What say you, boys?
Is it a sturdy looking door, or is it similar to the
Pretty much exactly the same.
door I just destroyed?
Yeah, the three other doors are exactly the same to the ones that you've destroyed, Ansel. It's just the one beyond that is heavy, yeah.
I can get through it pretty quickly.
Okay. Fair play. In that case, then, yeah, I mean, certainly don't throw spells away willy-nilly if you can do it at a later date, in which case we need to get through this one, this side. Which I'll just go and check it first. It's not locked. It's not locked.
Wow.
Beyond, you see another a familiar sight, another dial upon the ground, very much like the one that you'd witnessed before.
Does it have more inscriptions on it?
Well, it actually does, but you can see that it's actually been smashed away, this one. But you remember that you had 2 rhymes on your tablet.
I remember, but Runic would not. It's in the shed.
Yes, I'm just bringing it up. No, I'm looking in the wrong place.
It's okay, I can read it to you. So you remember, and you'll be able to bring out that tablet fairly quickly, and you'll be able to read the message. The second message begins with exactly the same rhyme, but ends with a different couplet. Read this well, and you shall measure the means to unveil a sacred treasure. Behold the dial when the sun shines at noon. Then behold a path to a powerful boon. And the other one was dawn, a cunning disguise will be fully withdrawn. Now last time you used a daylight pellet, but that has been used.
It has. I don't have any form of light.
I have flare, I have light from a wand.
But daylight.
I've got a sun stick. Like a dungeoneering tool.
That doesn't produce the effect of daylight, though, I'm afraid.
It does not. No, it does not.
And you remember that after your testing of the other one, it was only daylight would suffice.
Do we have any mirrors or anything reflective?
It's a very good question.
I have a mirror. I have a very small shard.
If this room here is about to be opened and bathed in light, can we not just reflect it through the door when it's fully open?
I'm not sure if we can get it fully open without doing this first.
I don't think the other one was related to the.
No, it wasn't.
It was
related.
just for the extra treasure.
Lots of sundial related things in here, but these are not. The sundial wasn't related to the pillars before.
But that room we've just come from looks like it's going to have a lot of light cascading into it very soon if we continue with these pillar things.
Yes.
I can.
It's then getting it to reflect to exactly midday, which is.
Well, if we need to get a mirror directly above.
Rob, did you just snap your fingers to make it look like you did a spell?
A daylight spell. The light.
Excellent.
Thanks, man.
Good work.
Thank you. Carry on.
No, I think Runic, you've got a good sort of good idea.
We can always strap a mirror to Borin in my pocket. You can take it up.
Do we have any other mirrors? I'm not sure shining sunlight directly into my mirror is a totally good idea.
Let's keep it.
You get some spiritual being going, oh, fuck,
Yeah, basically, my worry is that something powered by the moon might not appreciate sunlight being. Although maybe it would. Maybe that's exactly what it appreciates.
How polished
think
is that
about
scythe?
it. I mean, the moon is a giant mirror for sunlight, so
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But that's in real life, not necessarily in a magical world. Who knows where that light comes from?
I think he's right. I think Runic is right. I think we'll come back to this when that room is open, and we might have to come back to this tomorrow, sort of thing, when we've got another daylight thing or a spell or a wand or something. So maybe for now we'll just follow what appears to be a sort of tunnel.
That's right. So actually, you spy well, Obsidian, and the rest of you can scarcely miss it. There is a massive cave-in, the symmetry of this temple falling away as you see that there's kind of like a cave-like path that has just eroded, or appears to have been perhaps built or over at some point. It's hard to tell. But yeah, the wall falls away into this sickening, oily rock, as if the area has just been putrefied by some foul force.
I don't like it.
There is a lingering smell, like iron in the air, almost. You can almost taste it on the air.
Can I
Yeah.
just looking at the rock, Runic? You might be better at this because you're better with stone. It doesn't look like something's burrowed this, does it? I'm just very aware of horrible underground creatures and burrowing, and if something's big enough to do this, I don't want to fight it. We should run the hell away.
You can do a survival check, and if you can add it with stone cunning as well if you want.
That's a you thing, Runic, if you've got it.
Well,
I've got survival,
it's just my modifier. I don't have survival at all.
my survival is 18.
Roll a survival. Oh, you've already... Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant that modifier. I was like, wow, that's high. Yes, yeah, so roll 18. Burrowed?
Of the wilds.
No, this is definitely the act of erosion. If something had ever burrowed it there, there's no sign of it ever happening recently. This thing has been here a long time, this passage. So.
Okay. Erosion, though. And there doesn't appear to be any water flowing or... What could have eroded the rock away? No, it's just a strange layout for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we need to be incredibly careful here, boys. Like, really.
Yeah, there's sort of debris and rubble that appears to line the walls. You see like ancient cobwebs, like stranded against the walls there.
Normal sized cobwebs or large cobwebs?
You can give me a nature check.
I don't think there's any point. I'm not gonna roll anything high enough to.
Right. Out you come, Borin.
Going into the corner.
Oh, never mind.
Runic, you speak
Sorry,
to...
were you going to send Borin ahead?
Borin.
Yeah.
I'll quickly dart back. I've seen a bit of the tunnel, but I'd rather you send Borin ahead.
Yeah, you're able to sort of look
You
around
were.
Obsidian quickly before darting back around, and as Borin reveals himself, and he says, what is it?
We love him. We love him so.
It glows kind of like a yellowish colour. I believe it's yellow.
Yeah, yellowy orange.
Yeah.
Right, none of that. I need you to go down there and tell me what you see.
He sort of like hovers there for a minute, and it's almost like you can see like lights going around inside it for a moment. He says, "You're a sluggard, Runic." Always having me do your dirty work. And then, but reluctantly, he will then sort of like go off on his way, and he can move. How far?
Sorry.
He can go up to 1 mile away from me.
I'm sorry. Having spent time hanging out with Rob, right, outside of D&D, I know for a fact that you're a sluggard, Mike, is something he would say when we were just playing video games. That wasn't in character. That was just Rob.
That would be Mike asking for a cup of tea.
Yeah, you're a sluggard, Mike. I can just hear it.
You're a sluggard, Michael.
Yes.
Oh, Rob's just letting himself loose with this character.
I don't know what that says, given the description of that particular character trait he has, but never mind. Yes, he. Oh dear. So he. In a way that's most familiar to my own disposition, the crystal begins to hover, and the small amount of light that it lets off allows you to see, and you can see through it. Is that right?
No, it can tell me basically what it sees.
So it tells you,
it doesn't
as
give
it
me
hovers over a great, there's like a big drop, as you could probably see in the tunnel, about 10 feet wide. Yet beyond that, even the sneering sort of like disposition of Borin kind of ceases for a moment as he beholds what lies beyond. He describes to you a great chamber where there is another pillar linked with 2 chains and 2 cogs like you'd seen before. However, the sight that really kind of like is really hammered home is that this chamber is filled with viscera and blood.
Oh no.
Yeah, and quite a lot of that.
Quite a lot of it, and he just says quite a lot. I suppose that probably doesn't even do justice, him just telling you verbally what it is, Runic. But for those of you that are able to see, then my goodness.
I want to see.
Yeah, well, for now you have this tunnel to navigate, and there is a, like I said, there's like a narrow walkway, and then a drop.
Right. Beckon Borin back into my pocket.
Beckon Borin.
Back
When the
into my pocket.
So this is level ground. There's just a gap. Right?
Yeah, it's the same level. Yeah, but there is obviously a drop that you'd have to clear somehow.
But there's blood all over the floor.
Beyond, in the chamber beyond that the crystal Borin looked into, there's no blood there.
Oh right. Oh no. Okay.
There is a kind of garish red light beyond, though.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to jump the gap.
We're talking about 10 feet. I know that there is actually, and I don't have it in front of me. Maybe you'll be able to bring up what like the actual DC of a running jump is at 10 feet. There is a set DC for that, so
there is. I think it's something like
let's see if
the DC for a running jump is something like 5 per.
Yeah, something like that.
5 feet, I think, but I still wouldn't be able to make that. My jump is -1.
Okay, so a running long jump for 10 feet would be a jump check of DC 10 for 10 feet. Right. But that's a running long jump.
And you can't take 10 for that, can you?
No, you can't. You just gotta go for it. Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
Raw dog it.
Of course, we laugh, but like remember with 3.5, for those of you that don't know, when you're wearing heavy armor and things in 3.5, you have armor check penalties which severely reduce your ability to do things like this. So you can be dragged down into the abyss by the armor you're wearing. But thankfully, I don't think that's going to bother us at least. Let's
or
find
if you're
out.
A spellcaster like Bracken, you just run off the edge.
Or you just run off the edge.
You forget to jump.
Fall into a sewer. Yeah, it still stings to this day. But there we are. So,
just for that, the DC got higher.
For these DCs to work, however, it says it requires a 20-foot running start.
That's my entire
Without a
speed.
running start, you double the DC. So so that's quite a nice way of working it out. So a standing jump across there would then be a DC 20. But because you have 20 feet run up there, provided you don't fall off the edge on the way up, you'll have a DC 10 to make that jump.
So those 4 squares. I will not be able to do that, guys. It's too much of a big margin for error there, because, like I say, minus
It
1
becomes
jump,
worse than
I'd have to
50-50,
roll-
doesn't it?
I'd have to roll 11 to do it. My jump is based on strength, and strength is his absolute weakness. Minus 1, so...
I can get you across.
Can you? Runic. Oh, buddy. Old pal. Different. How?
If you don't fidget.
Stay very still.
What's the plan?
If you trust me. I know we've only just met.
Yeah,
but
I was
can
going to say
get
it's
you
a bit
across.
soon, a bit early for trust. I don't dislike you. You seem nice enough. I'll allow it.
Right, stand on the edge.
I assume you're not trying to kill me. You would have had more opportunities to do that. So stand
course.
on the edge.
Plus the caller in the darkness will murder us all if you die.
Stand on the edge. Look
No,
down there.
The shortest distance to jump.
Oh, right on the edge of the right. Bull rush.
Problem is, he'd probably beat your score by so much you would make the jump.
Yeah, he would. He'd just duff me across. I thought that's what he was doing. Toss me.
You're gonna have to toss me.
Don't tell them. Don't tell the elf.
Assuming you're not going to resist what I'm about to do, I don't necessarily need to roll a check for this. So I need to do some maths. There we go. Runic puts kind of just his hand to his head for a moment and then reaches out to you, Obsidian. You feel there's a low hum that just seems to come towards you, and as it does, you feel something just grip, almost like it's grappling you around your entire body, as you kind of feel like you're like a giant hand has just gone.
Oh shit.
I do now need to do a concentration check, because technically what I've done is called a telekinetic maneuver. And essentially I'm grappling
man.
you.
So
at
much
range.
wrong with this. So much wrong with this. Why am I going first is one of the things wrong with it, which I hadn't thought through until this moment. I'm going to end up over there. Grin's going to jump out and deck me again.
Actually,
Imagine.
I don't have to do it. My concentration's high enough, so to maintain this, I can just maintain a steady concentration on it.
Okay.
And I essentially grapple check, and I carry you with telekinetic maneuver over the chasm and drop you on the other side.
Okay. Just
Land. Oh my god.
little
yeah.
kicking legs.
You get softly placed down, and that taste of iron, taste on the air, is vivid to you, Obsidian.
I will go into this corner and just back up against the wall.
You can't help but see what looks like a body of blood, and I don't mean like a form. I mean as in a body of water.
Yeah,
Levels
like a whole pool
blood
of it.
here, like a pool of blood.
Oh, that is unpleasant. Okay. Anytime you like, boys. Because I couldn't get back now if I wanted to. I'd be screwed.
What about you?
I think I could probably make the jump, but if you want to be ready to catch me.
Yeah, I'll take myself over then, so I can be on the other side. However, this is up to you now, Rob, if this would be something I could do or not, because my jump is also not very good.
Right.
If I were to say use different different power, and use something called telekinetic thrust, which I think some of the other characters have used.
Yes, yeah.
But if I were to force it against the wall to push myself back, if that makes sense, so I'm thrusting myself over backwards, if that makes sense. So I'm essentially casting it on myself to get backwards over the chasm.
You can, but I don't think there'd be any way of you controlling it. So you would take the damage of if you were being thrown as the attack. I think.
I can't think of any other reliable way because there is every chance I could fall down there.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'd allow you to do it, but it would be like at the force that you would do it as a telekinetic thrust, which does incur damage, as you know, being thrown into a wall rather painfully by a Githyanki. There's other ways of crossing 10 feet gaps without the use of mind powers, you know.
I know.
It's up to you. You can try it. But it sounds like it'd hurt.
Probably would hurt.
What's Ansel thinking?
I'll just jump.
Okay.
Well then, you jump whilst I'm figuring this, and I'll stand by too.
I'm hoping my jump is enough, but we'll see.
DC 10.
16.
Easy peasy.
Made it on the die.
Yep, you hurl yourself over your long bounding legs and you land on the other side softly and with no issue. You also see this, and as you glance into the room, now Ansel, you see that there is that vast pillar that seems to rise up from a plinth that is set into a pool of blood. A pool that appears to flank on either side. The piece of land that you're on, can't tell whether you are just upon a shore or if this is some kind of large stone-like bridge and that the blood may flow beneath it. It's hard to tell. As you land, Ansel, we go back. Runic, what are your thoughts about the jump or the crossing?
Well, I mean, I'm not a negative for my jump.
No. I mean,
But it's 50-50, is that what you're saying?
We could stand on the edge and try to catch you.
Yep.
As you jump across to help you. So if
Just
you
in
don't
case.
fully make it, we're right there.
Let's try that then.
Yep, so if he fails, you'll get a reflex to try and catch him.
Cool.
It is a mighty +1.
What was he worried
Oh
about?
boy.
That's a natural 20. What is your jump like, Runic, as you decide just to go for it?
There's a moment actually where
Doesn't
Runic
run into
goes,
the boat.
wait a minute, of course I'll make this. And as he does, he leaps, and then in his mind, he's like, I could do a flip. He doesn't do a flip, he just...
He could.
But he
he
could.
could. But he looks majestic, as his beard is just...
You soar over and you land comfortably on the other side.
We almost hear the distant sound of an eagle.
Yeah, you are greeted with the sight that was described to you, but probably Boren's description didn't quite capture the sheer grotesque nature of the chamber that lay in wait for you. Now you're able to enter. You see that this thing goes back a way as well at either side, and yeah, the just the being in here just makes your skin crawl. It's just so unnatural. Like, what could possibly have generated this amount of blood? there stands once again the pillar.
Can I look at the blood with magical sight to see if it's real blood or if it's
Yeah, you can.
Trick
generated in
goes and
some
sort
way?
of dives in and starts kind of like
Ah,
just reminds him of home.
you're gonna get corrupted,
Nah, man.
Trick.
Not he's a devil. he's very corrupt already. He loves
He's very
blood.
corruptible.
Ansel, you said that you're using your
Like-
magic vision to look at it. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's something really not right about this. Not right, even more not right than what you were initially thinking. With just the initial sight of
Isn't
it.
right.
This is not good. You not only sense that the blood is magic, but there's almost like a presence to the blood, as if the blood has some kind of magical thought.
Oh god.
Get Trick out of the blood now.
Trick. Here.
Can Trick make a reflex save, please?
Ha 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 ha. You could try. He's got my reflex though, which is not very good. $16.
He takes 24 points of bludgeoning damage as something rises up through the blood and just smashes into him.
Oh no. Oh no. As he's flying away, he's just smooshed into the ground.
Yeah, he smashes into the wall and then onto the ground. Ow!
Did we see what did the damage?
No, what weirdly, it's just like the blood kind of seems to like writhe and bubble, as if a sudden heat has passed through it, a sudden ferocity. It continues, but nothing emerges from it. Like you watch in sort of like frozen panic as this occurs, but yeah.
Trick cowers in the corner.
Perhaps we should stay out of the blood.
Yeah, I mean it. I'm not sure if we should even go near the blood. This is a bit of a problem.
Yes.
And your detect magic just detecting something on the whole lot of it.
Yeah, it's not in any one location,
Okay.
is it?
Your vision as well, Ansel, as you sort of like scan the room, you note that the difference here is that there doesn't appear to be any magic on the totem, like there was guards and wards on the other. This appears to be entirely free of that.
So we don't have to worry about being sent mad again. Just about murderous blood.
Yeah. What if we? What if I summoned a couple of dandy skeletons? We haven't seen them in ages. See if I can get them to go and turn the cranks. And then if anything attacks them, we'll be able to watch it from here, and we'll know what to expect.
How many?
Do we think? I will cast the spell as a second level. So I should get 2, I think. Let me just double check.
Yep.
Because it might be that I get more, and if I can, I might as well, because I'll have for backups just in case. So, summon undead 2. You may summon you if it wants to load. It does. 1 undead from the second level list, or 2 undead of the same kind from the first. Yeah, so it'll just be 2. So two of my dandy skellies.
2 of your dandy skellies coming right up.
So 2 skeleton gents come up. Jaunty hats. Monocle.
Okay. Be right with you.
Thank you very much.
They are. You should have control of them.
Yeah.
Do you feel in control?
Feel in control?
I do. So, yeah, he does the thing where he stands kind of in a certain spot and just 2 hands out, and then almost summons them up out of the ground and out and climb from the rock. The rock acts as if it's dirt, and they just climb out of it, and then the dirt turns back into solid rock again. And they stand ready, and I will order them to avoid the blood as much as possible and approach the cranks.
Yes.
That's the first time Runic has seen Obsidian conjuring the dead. And there is a slight...
Oh, yeah.
He's trying to hold a poker face, but he's also a bit like, oh, what? Oh. He's not seen many necromancers, and the only things he heard about them, especially from his family, they're not good. So he's a little bit...
Yeah.
His religious family.
He's surely willing to suspend his worries slightly, given that he's been...
Yes, with this, but as I said...
hanging about with this bad boy.
So the skeletons begin their toil. With bony hands, they grasp the crank, and around the wheels go, and the chains, heavy as they are, ding 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 ding. And the more that they turn them, the more viscous, the more ferocious and savage the bubbling of the blood becomes, until at last a great terror grips you, or perhaps it does. We will see. I'd like you all to make a will save, please. This is a fear effect.
Is it a spell or spell-like ability?
It is a spell-like ability, yeah.
Yay, I get that as well.
Okay.
Hey. Don't steal my thunder, Michael.
It's a dwarven thing.
It's a dwarven thing.
24.
24, nice.
34.
18.
Okay, very good. You are all able to resist as some terrible aura begins to pass across the chamber. But each of you manage to resist that power. However, it is still pretty terrifying to see, regardless, what emerges from the depths of the blood. Layers of the viscous fluid appears to pull back, and there is a large creature that begins to pull itself out of the blood. It appears to have flesh totally bloated by blood, its veins bulging from its massive form.
God.
This terrible thing erupts out of the blood towards you. Roll initiative.
Attack on Titan-esque.
Yeah, very.
Very much so. Yeah, you can.
Ooh, it's like my best initiative ever with this character.
7.
It's still not very
Standard.
good.
Sorry. So Obsidian 19.
18. Oh, 19. Yes, 19. Sorry, I was looking at
Yeah.
Ansel.
Yeah,
Ansel
19.
was 18.
Ansel was 18.
18.
What's that? Okay. Obsidian, this thing bursts out of the blood and appears to lurch forth. And it doesn't seem to be entirely occupied at all with the skeletons. This thing lurches forward. What do you do?
Oh, lovely. It's me first. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Do I think this is an undead creature? Because that massively changes.
Yeah, give me a religion check, please.
Alrighty. 16.
You know it's undead. But what the creature is, you don't know.
No. Okay, that's right. That's all I needed. It was undead. That is unfortunate. I was really hoping I'd be against a living creature.
Well, you know,
None of my spells.
You know that you are currently going after a necromantic cult of the Lightbreakers.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Sadly,
Just,
it's just one of those things at the moment, I'm afraid.
I will start to excel when I can use the power of the undead against the living, which I think is
yes.
apparently more what a necromancer does. Right, I will, in that case, let's go with... Oh, balls, I had that open. I am going to summon.
Okay, what are you going to summon?
Let's go with... what are they? Troll, skeleton, wise old sage.
The Skelly.
I will cast it. It will be the skeleton in the wise old sage,
Yep,
the
that's
wide-rimmed hat. Yeah. And there's going to be, I believe, 2 of them, but I will double check that I think if I cast Summon Undead 4 allows me to summon.
Yeah, so
Yeah. I did. I had loads of a slightly lower level.
that's fine.
Anytime today. There we go. So 1d3 undead of the same type from the 3rd level. Oh, okay. So it's actually 1d3, not just 2. So I will roll a d3, which obviously I don't have. So it's /r space d3. Is that right?
Yep.
3. All 3.
Hey.
Okay, so 3 of those bad boys. Oh, wow, they're so much bigger than I remember. And we'll have one sort of on the edge of the thing there. And we'll have one there. And we'll have one there. As they... I don't know how deep the blood is,
How
do
deep
we?
is your blood?
How deep is the blood? I think we'll just have him standing on the edge of it there.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Because then he can step up onto it
Yeah.
if it's whatever. He'll try and step into it in a minute, but they can appear for an attack. So they will appear for attacks. And then we're looking at troll skeletons. Lovely stuff. So these wise old sages, or skeletons, they've kind of got the sort of remnants of what look like long white beards. And they're wearing robes, sort of ornate-looking robes, appear, and these massive claws come out, and all three of them will go for attacks. And these now count as magic attacks, by the way, because of a feat that I took.
Ooh, nice.
So each of them will go for full attacks. So that is going to be 2 claws from each of them, and it will be at a plus 2. +4 strength and dex. Yes, okay, good. So the first one goes for 1 attack at a 17.
Is a hit.
Lovely. And then it will go for a second claw. And possibly
Possibly a fumble.
a 12 fumble. That's a 29.
Not a
So it's not a
fumble.
fumble, it's just a miss. Okay, so that's 1 attack from the first one. Then the second one, shall I do all of them together? Or should you damage for the first one?
Damage for the... just do damage for the first one, yeah. I think it's probably best.
Okay, so it's 1d6 plus 6, but it now also, my summons all have a slight mist of like cold coming off of their weapons, so off of their claws in this case, and they all do an extra d6 of cold damage
That's cool.
on top of that.
And can I ask, what type of damage is just their normal... What type of damage is their attack, their strike?
Will be claws. So, hang on. I imagine it doesn't say, but if it's claws, I'm going to say slashing damage.
In which case, every attack that lands with a slash do an extra d6 of damage.
Oh, shall I add that to the roll as well? In which case, that's 3d6 plus 6 per attack. So that 18 from the first one.
Okay. Yep, so you slice across it once with your summon.
So the second dude will go for 2 attacks. So the first attack is a 12. That's unfortunate. The second attack is a nat 20. We don't crit on undead.
Hello.
Afraid not. No.
But it's definitely a hit, so that's nice. So 1, 2, 3 d6 plus 6, so he got 1. So that's 22 from that guy.
Amazing.
And the third one, which is the one right in front of him, will go savagely. 1 attack, another nat 20.
What a time to get nat
What a
20s.
time
I
in a
know.
row.
That's
I know.
sad.
And a second claw at just a 20.
Okay,
does a 20
yeah,
beat his
that also
80?
hits, yeah.
Okay, so that is 6 d6 plus 12. 35 points of damage. And with every hit, like the wound just freezes a little bit. For one of my feats that I took that came along with the Tomb Tainted thing we were looking at is Deadly
yes,
Chill. So all of my
yes.
summons now also do a small amount of cold
That is
damage.
so cool. And as you're sort of like gleefully acknowledging that like boon, that dread boon to your power obsidian, you're also noticing just the fact that because your summons are able to do slashing damage, when they're slashing this beast, they appear to be rupturing these bulging arteries. This thing, while massive, appears to like just be easily cut by this thing. So this hulking, crushing mass of this hulking like creature, cuts to it, appear to make it shed rivers of blood. Anything else on your turn?
No, I've moved 1 square back. And all I will do is I just want to pay attention to the caller in the darkness. Because this thing is undead, is it paying it like no attention at all? Like it's not interested in it?
It doesn't appear to be that interested in it, to be honest. It only hungers for the living.
That figures. It's going to be no help to us in this one, guys.
You can order it to do things if you want, but
I don't feel the need. I think if we came across something living, maybe it would ask for the help. But it was. I'm just sort of more inclined to have it with us for as and when we need it. But because it's undead, I don't think it'll be much use. So
okay, great.
I'm not going to try and make the charisma
Is that your turn?
at the minute. That is me.
Perfect. Ansel.
I will send the shade over here. So it's affecting the creature, the blood creature. So it's -2 to saves and AC. And then Ansel will launch some Eldritch energy at it. With an Eldritch Blast, a sickening blast, although I suspect it's not susceptible to that. 25 to hit.
25 does hit. It slams into it. It gives a sickening roar as you strike it.
4d6, which is 11 damage. And if it was able to be sickened, it would have to do a what am I saying? Fortitude.
It lives in blood. He's
Yeah.
alright, mate. I'm afraid.
And then as a swift action, I will attempt to curse it as well.
Now
So
that-
we'll save DC 18.
That it will roll against. Now, when you reach out to it, it's almost like you can see that there's something in its eyes. While it does appear to be animalistic, there is a power there. Do you remember that intelligence of that blood that you sort of like sensed initially, belying its power, perhaps? So, what was the save?
DC 18, although it is -2 due to the shade being next to it.
It still beats it because it got 17 on the die and it's got a great save. So unfortunately, it does not get cursed.
No worries, it's immune to my curse.
Okay.
For a day.
For a
If
day.
it survives.
If it survives, it will enjoy that day. Anything else on your turn, Ansel?
That's it. I've used all of my actions except move. But I'm not gonna
Okay,
move.
it is its turn now. So this thing here is going to just attack the one directly in front of it. So the one that Runic is currently standing behind, that one there. Just raises a massive, like, double-handed strike like that and brings it down, attacking your summon, Obsidian. What is its armor class, please? The wise old sage in front of it.
So its armor class would normally be 14, 15, 16.
That is a hit. It brings down a smashing, bludgeoning slam. So it's going to do the following damage.
Smashing.
$39 points of bludgeoning damage.
On which one?
The one directly in front of it. It just brings up and an axe handle smashes down upon the wide-brimmed cranium of this summon of yours.
Okay. That bypasses its damage reduction, does it a chunk of damage, but it is still all right.
Very good. That was its turn.
Say that again. Was it 39? 39.
39 points of bludgeoning damage, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You watch Obsidian as this thing is just smashing into your summons, and it is alarming to you that you suddenly realise that the blood behind you is bubbling as well. As another erupts out of the blood and just will move.
Oh dear. Do you know what? I moved one square back, so I thought if I move any further back, I'll be closer to the other pool, and I'll bet somebody's going to jump out of it.
Actually, he can do a free 5-foot step to get into there. Actually, which he will do. and he will attack. What is your armor class? Obsidian.
My armor class is 15.
That is a hit.
Of course it is.
That's 35 points of bludgeoning damage.
I take every bit of it. No
It
damage reduction.
rises up out of the blood and just goes BAM! And just slams onto you and goes "Wah!" And flecks of blood just cover the area in front of you as it screams and emerges onto the
Smacks me,
battlefield.
lifts me off the floor, I imagine, and does me over half of my health in one hit.
Hooray! So the battle is in full swing, and we move to the last person on the initiative. That is Runic.
What did Borin call Runic earlier?
A sluggard.
Yes, well, Runic was a sluggard for starting. There we go. He's let's get them out of the way. Yeah, he heard this thing just erupt behind him, and he was planning for what he saw there. But in this moment, he takes a free 5-foot step here, and he seems to just manifest this ray of just hot energy, and he just drops into his crossbow and fires off an energy ray as a ranged touch.
And this is against the one
that just smashed Obsidian, the new one.
Smashes things. You whirl around seeing this new antagonist on the board, and you open fire. Roll against its touch.
24.
Yeah, you just reach out and your attack hits it full on. You succeed on the attack.
Excellent. I've hit it with a fire energy ray for
Ooh, nice.
21 points of damage.
Fire ripples across it. 21 points of damage. It gives like a, pardon the pun, a blood-curdling scream. Anything else on your turn, Runic?
Well, it now smells like we're cooking steak in here, but no, nope, that is it.
Your thoughts are primitive, says Borin, as you think about the smell of cooking steak. We're back to the top of the round. Obsidian, you have been holding this one at bay, and then you turn around at the last second to see its twin just rise up behind you and just smash you. What do you do?
What do I do? I will take a free 5-foot step to there. I will raise my hand in the air, clench a fist, and I will attempt using my own power to do rebuke.
Ah, yes, okay.
Which is... I haven't got the table open, but take me 2 seconds because it's been put in my memory. There it is. So, a rebuke check, which is a d20 plus my charisma.
Yes.
Right. Okie dokie. And then I'll tell you how powerful an undead I can rebuke. Mm-hmm. Here we go. 17. Cleric's level plus 2 of hit dice. So 9, 10, 11 hit dice. Not amazing. Not amazing. I've done a lot better.
Yeah.
But 11 hit dice.
You reach out and you're reaching out with your necromantic power to reach the forces commanding this thing, but it just doesn't flinch, to be honest with you. I'm afraid Obsidian, it just keeps storming towards you, oblivious of that attempt.
Problem.
Yeah, I'm afraid. Anything else on your turn? Oh, your boys. Let's go.
Oh yeah, they will act. Of course. So against this one, the first one gets 2 attacks. So first attack What
Another
in
20.
the actual...
You're using them all up now, mate, I'm telling you.
And then a 19 on its armor class.
Both resounding strikes against its armor class. This thing is big
Amazing.
and slow.
So it will take 6d6 plus 12.
Okay.
Not so good this time. That's 2 hits as well. But I almost did that with 1 hit last time. 31 more points of damage against this thing.
And that just to confirm, that is with the additional d6 you get for that slashing. Is that right?
Yes.
You've included that. Great. 31 points of damage.
I did.
Okay. Yep. Good job.
So the next one will also go for 2 attacks.
Yep.
Standard 20 and a 19.
Yeah, I mean, you're making a habit of it. Your summons hold the line and just continue smashing against this thing. Roll the damage.
A little bit better, 34 damage.
Wow. Oh my word.
Yeah, they're tough, these boys. They're tough.
You're beginning to see why
They're
turning
tough.
them might have been difficult.
Yeah, well, I didn't roll very well on the turn, to be fair. But and the last one, a 21 and
Hits.
a 15.
Miss.
15. Okay, so it will only get the 1 hit this time.
Is that even with the -2 from the shade? Just a double.
Oh, -2. So what would it be? Sorry.
Well, imagine the attack was a 17.
Yes, that would be a hit then, because the shade is there, so that would actually be a hit.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so that's a hit.
33 more points of damage.
Oh my word, you're just smashing into this thing.
Tearing it.
Absolutely. An insane amount of damage and around. Absolutely tearing into this thing. And because of that vulnerability they seemingly have, blood is just pouring out like rivers from this thing. And it's just like giving wild swipes of crazed attacks. Anything else on your turn, Obsidian?
No, that's it. The sages have gone. I've done a free 5-foot step and attempted a thing, yeah. That's me.
Very good.
They will continue with their onslaught.
Very good, and as they do, Ansel, it's your turn.
So I'll try and curse the other blood monster.
Very good.
DC 18 again.
It meets the number, which means it fails.
Hey.
It fails and is cursed.
So it is -2 to attacks, saves, checks, and weapon damage.
Yep. Very good.
And then I will step in front of Obsidian and start laying into it with Eldritch Claws, because I've got the reach from my extra long arms.
Perfect. Yeah.
So on its touch, 10. That's shit.
10 is a hit on its touch.
Really?
Yep.
Amazing. And then second attack, even worse, 5. I rolled 2 2s in a row there.
That is a miss, but the first one is a hit.
It is not a shock.
The one that you do get, though, because you're swiping, even though it's Eldritch Claws, even in that form, it appears to be doing your extra, so you can add an extra d6 onto that attack.
Oh, that's kind.
It's just
19 points of damage.
what happens. Amazing, yeah, you slice into it, and blood gushes from it as you step in front of Obsidian and then strike out at it. Cursed and injured, it bellows at you. That's your turn, Ansel?
It is indeed.
The creature ahead, so the first one that went, to be honest with you, I think it just needs to hammer away. So that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to do exactly the same and just smash into that summon. The same summon as before then. What's the AC of the summon?
It would normally be 14, I think, so it's now 16.
That is a hit.
just realised I've been underplaying their damage slightly.
"38 points of bludgeoning damage.
It is smashed to smithereens.
Bam! It grinds its bones into the ground.
One down.
And it will provoke an attack of opportunity as it will use its movement as well.
From both of my other summons, you mean?
Just the one behind it.
$18.
So it just smashes through this thing and is basically making a beeline towards Runic, but the attack does land from the one behind it. So roll it up.
Does this one not get an attack of opportunity as well? It's moving through its threat range.
Through, but
You can
not
move through
out.
threat range as long as you don't leave.
It's not left his threat range.
I
so
thought
no.
it was actually harder to move through threat ranges than out of them. You have to get a
he's not
higher
left
tumble
it.
check, don't you? Isn't that right?
No, it's not. I think it's just if you leave it.
Okay.
What was the
I'm getting
damage
my
from the
stuff
one
fixed.
that it landed?
So it will be. I was actually getting it wrong because I was adding it's +6, but I get an extra 2 on strength, so it'll be plus 8.
Nice.
So
Yeah. Fantastic.
8 times 2 is 16, so 3d6 plus. Oh, no. That's not right. Take 8 off of that, so 21.
21 points of damage.
I did it like 2 hits. Yeah, further 21 damage.
Oh my word. So it was 21 points of damage, sorry.
It was 21, yeah, I just added twice his strength instead of
Gotcha,
1 time.
No problem. It gives out a guttural howl as you strike at it, and you see that it appears to sort of be like dragging itself forward in an attempt to get to where Runic is, but that's all it can do on its turn. The second one, however, enraged by this attempt from Ansel, it's just going to move forwards here to ensure it can threaten all of you. But it was Ansel that struck it, so it's going to go for your armor class, please, Ansel.
16. A mighty 16.
That is a hit. Okay. "34 points of bludgeoning damage. It moves forward with frightening speed, and just one strike, BAM! Just smashed down against you. Ansel?
Ouch.
Yeah, it's bad. These things appear to just be like marauding glass cannons, really, at this stage. They're just like smashing as hard as they can to try and break your ranks. That is their turn over. Runic, this thing is upon you. What do you do?
Runic, seeing this other one coming towards him, he's going to do what he did last time, but he's going to, I suppose the equivalent is manifest defensively instead of cast defensively.
Right, yes.
So
Okay.
it's 15 plus the level of the spell to do it. Power plus the level of the power. However, my concentration exceeds that, so I don't need to roll for this.
That's good.
But because it kind of happens at this point, it doesn't happen with any form of display. It doesn't happen with any like auditory or verbal or movement. You just see like a bolt of fire just suddenly appear in front of Runic and then just shoot off at the one who's going to his flank. This one here. So it's a ranged touch. Again. 19 on this.
It's a hit on
one
its
here.
touch.
Lovely. And again for 26 points of fire damage.
26 points of fire damage.
Yes.
Yep, you smash into it with 26 points of fire damage. Flames ripping through it, and yet it still pushes forward. Anything else?
Can I just check? Yeah, can I do a quick check?
Yeah.
Do they seem to have? I'm looking at the what they look like. Yes, they're undead.
Mm-hmm.
Do they seem to look like giant undead, of the giant type? Because
question,
instinctually,
yes.
Runic would benefit from that. If it's not,
I don't think so, but let me just check.
that's fine.
No. No,
That's
they are
okay.
not.
No underfoot fighting for Runic.
Unfortunately, yeah, they stride forward, smashing as they go. You hit one with that fiery power, and the flames lick off it. Anything else on your turn?
No.
We're back to the
stay around
top
for a moment.
of the round. Obsidian.
Yes. Well, let's have these guys go. So he's going to move one, and then he can just step over the gap there, because it's smaller than his space, and move into that spot. And then the other one will just turn on the spot and go in for the attacks. Is this one flanking with Runic?
Yes. Yeah.
Lovely. So I'll just add the +2. Okay, so we'll go with the one that's flanking first, moves in and goes for one attack. All for the sake of piss. I mean, this is it's almost cruel.
It's the most 20s you've rolled in any session so far, I think.
But I've also rolled 2 1s with these guys, so we'll roll to see if that is a fumble. It's 21, so it's not a fumble, it's just a miss. But that's one hit, so that is 3. So it takes 18 points of damage from the first one.
Yeah.
And then the second one will go for a 27
It's a hit.
and a 13, which would be a 14, 15 because the shade's there, but obviously I
Even
don't
with
think a 15 got
15,
him
I'm
up.
afraid that is a miss. Yeah.
That's all right. So just the one hit from each of them. That is another 22.
This thing is
And
staggering
continue
forward.
to just
It's just being ripped to shreds as it's like just reaching desperately to get to Runic at this stage. Torn to shreds. Yet still, it powers on. Anything else on your turn?
I will cast and inflict moderate on myself.
Very good. Yeah,
Which
so
is 2d8 plus 9.
yeah, you roll it up and you give yourself some health back with that.
19, not bad at all.
19, yeah, you feel the grasp of unlife bringing you sustenance, Obsidian. Anything else on your turn?
No.
Ansel, it is your turn. You watch as Obsidian's things are razoring this thing apart as it staggers forward on its continued assault. What do you do? The other one is obviously still in front of you.
Oh, it's tough. I guess I'll try and first I'll say to the shade, help, and the shade's gonna come round to here to threaten both of them.
Yeah, he wisps around.
And then Ansel will do a 5-foot step to try and maximise our damage on this first creature, because I feel like we need to get rid of one of them, really. And then I'll do 2 claw attacks on its touch, which has a -2 AC. 18.
Have you left his threat range? I think you have.
19. Depends what his threat range is, but it's only 5-foot step anyway.
No, you haven't left his threat range. No, you haven't. And yes, you're absolutely right. So both of those.
I didn't actually have to move anyway.
No, that's fine. No, forgive me. I totally wrong call there. And those both land against the beast.
Excellent. So you 2 lots of damage with the extra d6.
That's right. Yeah, you reach forth with your eldritch claws.
So he does 42 points of damage as he just slashes over and over again at this blood monstrosity.
The total damage done upon the thing is 313 points of damage collectively. What is it like, Ansel, as you land a killing strike against it?
I think the skeleton behind it has just smashed into it, and it's staggered forward onto its forward onto its hands, and so stabs into one of the hands, and then with the other arm straight up into its face. Claws going straight up.
Explodes with blood. The entire area is just awash now. You're all just covered up to your knees with this blood just rushing over the surface of this bridge as one of the beasts is felled. Amazing work. It is on the ground, destroyed. That means that we skip its turn because it's gone. We are now over to the cursed. One of its number. That is going to... it's going to just reach out with a hand, a grasping claw, and it's just going to make a grapple attempt against you, Runic.
Ooh.
So it needs to make a touch attack. It doesn't have improved grab, so it will provoke an attack of opportunity off you.
And it's in my threat range as well, so I could...
Does it provoke an attack off everyone around it? It says attack of opportunity,
Yeah.
so
Is it not?
it's just the.
provoke off the
I think it's
person
the
it's
target.
on.
I could be wrong.
Fair enough.
For simplicity, we'll just keep it to Runic for now. If we're incorrect, then we'll look into it another time. It's gonna first of all try and get a touch attack on you.
Well, I'll do my thingy. As his crossbow attempts 17.
Has to be a melee strike, I'm afraid.
Slap.
Runic will bear with me.
I'll allow you.
Fingers
Even a
you.
slap, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It will negate the attempt if you land any sort of hit.
Yeah, I need to look what my bonus is because I don't have a melee modifier.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not
There
sure.
we go.
I'm not sure about that.
So with his offhand, he goes to attempt to punch him away. 10.
Oh dear.
Bugger. So the grapple
Time,
lands.
man.
He rolled very... Yeah, so he's grabbed hold of you then. He has you grappled. He hasn't moved. So that's his attack. His movement is he's going to start walking backwards into the viscera, into the blood. With him.
Oh, I thought that was the attack, not the grapple check.
Oh,
Because you said I couldn't
I'm
use
so
the crossbow.
sorry. You're absolutely right. Yeah, he does actually need to do the grapple. That was just the attack. You're absolutely right. Let's do a grapple check.
I'm sure he'll be.
He is at -2 to checks.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can see.
that
I mean,
makes that
roll an
36 then in that case.
What about his -2?
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't say
it is.
that.
It is.
And just to double check, it's still more than 8.
That's definitely more than 8, isn't it? Is
It's
it?
definitely more than
Have you-
8. Yeah, I
Double check.
thought.
Do you want to get a calculator?
I'm alright. Even I know that. So that means then, I do apologise. I was jumping the gun, but the result is the same. He picks you up, Runic, and just begins walking backwards into the blood. He goes to about here.
Do I get an attack of opportunity from leaving my threat range?
You absolutely do. Yeah, everyone does that's in range of him.
Oh, I get +2 on attacks of opportunity, unless I've swapped that out and forgotten to delete it.
So he's dragging Runic, lifted into the air with him, just got the dwarf by basically the throat and the chest. His hand is so big it just wraps around you like that. Walks away. Ansel strikes. What do you do? What's the attack? Let's go.
Let's go indeed. So I get a +2 on that. 13. Cheers, shit.
Not
on its
enough.
touch, though. On its touch.
Oh, on its touch, then yeah, that's a hit. Yep.
Because the claws stay until my next turn.
No, I remember. Yep.
19 points of damage.
That includes
The
extra
rake is
d6
back.
as well. Yes, it does.
It does indeed.
Yeah, you rake him in the back. Staggers back into the blood, belching blood and viscera as he goes. That was its turn. Runic, you are in the grasp of the beast. It is immensely strong. What are you going to do?
Okay. Firstly, I need to make a concentration check to be able to manifest whilst in a grapple. I've got the DC here. It is 20.
Okay. Fingers
And
crossed.
if I succeed, I can do this normally. So
Okay, we can do this.
we're fine.
Yes, excellent.
Steady of mind, like a rock. Then
I absolutely love it. So what's he doing? Let's go.
I don't have to spend additional power points if I... Okay, I'm going to use one of my feats here.
Okay.
Runic looks at the creature, and you see psionic energy almost dissipate from him, and you also see blood coming out of Runic's eyes as he is over-channeled this ability. Not similar to another one, but...
What's he going to do?
Right, he needs to make a will save of 20.
He is at -2 to saves.
And he rolls a 1 on the die.
I also take, because I overchanneled that by 2 PP to affect a large creature. Otherwise, I couldn't do to a large. So I take... Before I say what happens, I take... Is it that or that? Let me just check, because this is the first time I've done it.
Yep,
it is. I take 17 points of damage.
Oh, oh my god.
Ouch.
And I have sent him time hopped. I have sent him 9 rounds into the future. He vanishes into the future, dropping me on the spot.
You fall and just splash into the blood. 9 seconds. 9 seconds. 9 rounds. 6 seconds per. How long is that?
Well, we do it round by round. Each round,
54 seconds.
he gets a wisdom check. If he succeeds on a wisdom check, he can reappear, but then his round is over. But it is
check,
wisdom,
not a will save.
Wisdom, not will. It is wisdom.
Okay.
DC 15. But that gets onto his round when we get there.
Okay then, no problem. Well, first of all, let's just explain what it looks like when you put someone through time, Runic. What is it like?
I mean, he over-channeled this, and he expelled his psionic focus, which he'd had since the start of the day. So, Runic, almost for a second, Runic looks weaker, but then you see blood just coming out of his eyes as it's... That's the thing, there's nothing arcane about it, but it just looks like every part of him has just been twisted and pulled into the spot, almost like a singularity has just whipped it in.
Oh wow! And it just vanishes. Then you land in there. You won't. I'll just ask you to do a. I'll ask you to do a tumble or a balance check, whichever you prefer, to see if you can land on your feet or straight decks, whatever. Because you're being dropped like you get
-2.
just drops you, you know. So it's to see if you can land and not take any.
Yeah.
Blood damage.
Go balance. Mm-hmm. Does my dwarven stability kick in?
Yeah.
Oh, that's ace. Then 10.
It's fine. Yep. You land, but you don't take anything for it. That's absolutely fine. It was going to be 10, but I don't care enough, and I think it's cool that you just land unaffected. So you land sort of like knee deep in this blood, and Yep, this thing's gone. Now, we're back to the top of the round. Obsidian, you've seen this thing has vanished. What do you do on your turn?
Well,
I should make it vanish, shouldn't I?
It could come back any 9 rounds if it succeeds.
I've got his wisdom to hand now.
I really need to keep an eye on how many rounds these guys have been here, and I think it's 4 so far.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'm just trying to make a note of it, but I can't. You can't make notes on tokens as a player.
We'll just
Never
write
mind.
it
Okay,
down
so I
on
got
something
a
in front of me.
4.
I think that's the easiest thing to
So they will maneuver. The thing is, if it is the full 9 rounds, they'll be disappeared before he gets back.
do. Okay, we'll act as you would normally until we get to that
But
point.
I will do that. So these guys are going to maneuver over here. He's going to basically appear in the same position, I'd imagine. I'm just assuming because I don't know. So I'm going to have them both appear there. And then I will move over to the side and I will ready another summon. But I don't need to ready because there's so many rounds. And heal myself for 3 more points of healing per
Very
round.
good. Ansel.
Yeah, if we've got time, I will send the shade next to Runic, and I will quaff a potion of cure mod wounds.
Yeah, you feel the life returning to you. Roll it up.
Because I got absolutely wrecked. 22, that's not too bad. That'll do.
Good, very good.
Great. Yeah, that'll do me.
Okay, fantastic. And as you do that then, we move on to its turn. Now, I'm happy to share this with you later so you know I'm not full of it. Its wisdom is 10, so that means no modifier. It's going to be a straight roll, which I will ask Mike to roll in the public chat so we can see for ourselves when it's going to come back. So 15, it's got to exceed 15, is that right?
Yeah, so it's a
16,
25% chance.
16 or higher then, let's go.
Oh, almost.
Very close to, but not quite. There's like a as if like there's some kind of temporal energy that crackles in front of you, Runic, as it becomes your turn.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's a check to see if it figures out that it's been held in stasis. But Runic will usher and shout to them as he takes his movement to get out of there. It could come back any time now.
Yeah.
So he gets to there, because it's only 4 squares he can move. And as a standard action, let's see what it's 5 points. Oh, I'm getting through lots of PowerPoints for this. May as well do both. He augments something, and you see basically all of his muscles tense, and he clenches his teeth, and it seems as if he is willing all the knots and cuts and just every part of his body just to knit back together, and he's just gritting his teeth as he tries to heal himself. For 19, so I'm back to full.
Perfect. We're back to the top of the round. Obsidian.
Heal another 3 points.
Okay.
And
Anything else?
just continue to hold.
Ansel.
Hold.
Mike, roll it up. 16 or
I
higher.
will say that I'm readied to summon
Yeah.
as it appears. So, if it comes back before, I'm there.
Uh-oh.
There's a fracture, and it just charges through the breach, bursting back onto the scene immediately. And that means your readied action triggers.
Wicked.
Its hand is still as if it's holding me. Just...
Do you know what? My readied action would trigger, but since they haven't disappeared, I'm gonna refrain from casting it and just hold off, and just let them go to town on it.
Yeah, fantastic. So, they can absolutely do so because everyone was ready for it to come back. So we'll to emulate that, then everyone will go before it in this moment, and then we'll return to normal initiative. Then in that case, we'll then return to its turn, and then we'll revert back to it. Okay, so Obsidian's ready to action was ready. Runic, what are you going to do? Sorry, no, let's keep it to that. Ansel, what were you going to do?
I will just add, it does. I've just checked. It essentially acts back to normal on the following round. So essentially, its round is it coming in.
Perfect. So. Okay, well that makes sense then. So that was Obsidian then refraining, unless there's anything else. I know you want your attacks, don't you?
Well, no, my skellies will go.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Skellies will have their shot. I'm just wondering if they should. It was trying to grapple you. It might be helpful to hold it in place for the other one. So I'm going to have the first one attempt to grapple it.
Okay.
I'm going to tell it to hold it steady.
Okay.
And so it's going to initiate a grapple, which is a touch.
Mm-hmm. So he gets an attack of opportunity against it.
Does it?
Yep, we have literally just done this just a moment ago. Yep,
Sorry, I forgot to grapple. The grapple was a touch attack.
Yeah, we forgot this actually, but yeah, when you try and reach out, if you don't have improved grapple or anything like that, then you do actually provoke an attack of opportunity when you try and get the touch attack. Which, what is the touch? It's made its attack. It is cursed though, so I'm taking that into account.
Well, its armor class is 16.
Oh yeah, of course, it's just his normal attack. Well, that's still going to hit him, so he hits him, unfortunately.
So then the grapple doesn't work, right?
Yeah, afraid so. Apparently. Well, I don't know.
I didn't think grapples work that way. I thought grapple.
If you have improved grab,
and then you initiate the grapple.
Yeah,
just
if you
the
don't
damage,
have
but
grab.
the damage. So even if you hit a dragon that's trying to grab you and you successfully hit it, that would stop it. I don't buy that actually. I'm going to overrule that. I'm going to say you take the damage. You take the damage, but you'll still be allowed to initiate the hit for now. Okay, let's just do it, and we'll look into it later on. Okay, would you like to make your touch?
No, actually, I'm ever so sorry, Rob. It does actually say if the attack of opportunity deals damage, grapple attempt fails. So as much as that sucks for me, and you are right, it is a bit silly because
it does say certain monsters are exempt, like a dragon. I think would probably be exempt.
Yeah, they do not provoke attacks of opportunity when they start a grapple. Because they have it automatically. Well, the other one isn't going to do that. The other one is going to
look at that. I'm going to look at that, I think. So, but yeah, all right, for now then, we'll just keep it.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit, mate, this is the web page I'm looking at. So if you find it in the book, it might be different. They sometimes are. But the other one is just going to go for 2 normal attacks.
Might as well just attack him, yeah. Go for
it. So that's a 28.
Hit.
And a 13.
Miss.
Which would be a 15, so that's a miss. Okay, so 3... Oh dear, a couple of ones in it. Ooh, terrible damage. 12 points of damage. My skellies have not done well this round. They've not done well. Failed on a grapple and.
Yeah, well, I mean, you slice into them with your summons, but yeah, it holds its ground.
That really, really discourages anybody from attempting to use grapple, doesn't it?
I think that might be why we kept forgetting to do it, because we probably thought, well, no, we did it on purpose. But anyway, let's continue for now then. So that was Obsidian's turn. We're now on to Ansel.
Yeah, I'll just launch a Eldritch Blast at it from a distance.
Hits.
28. So that's not a slashing attack, unfortunately. But 12 points of damage into its bloody chest.
Yeah, and it gives a roar as you do so. Okay. Anything else on your turn?
No, I kind of want to stay back, I think.
Fair. Absolutely fair. That was its turn then, so it's using it. That's his turn to recover then. We now move on to Runic as it's sort of like staggering around your turn.
Yeah, Runic is 1, 2, 3. Also gonna take a few steps back. Wanting to keep a bit in the tank, so to speak. He readies his crossbow. You notice it He didn't have a bolt in it before, but the minute he lifts it without kind of putting his powers and channeling through that, a bolt just seems to ready itself in the crossbow. And as he lifts,
Posh.
yes,
Very nifty.
he looses.
Loose.
20. That's
20
normal.
hits.
Beautiful. I'm going to be doing a powerhouse amount of damage here. 5.
Wow!
Oh, gotta love a crossbow.
It explodes with the force of it. In your
I would
dreams.
be. You have no idea how unsurprised I would be if Mike got the slops with a 5. It would be
The ultimate
absolutely
slops.
in keeping with
It is,
him
it
as
is
a
not
player.
unheard of for that to occur.
Not. You remember
Throwing
the
axe.
little throwing axe? Yeah, I remember. I will never
The
forget.
throwing axe. Oh god. Anything else on your turn, Runic?
That's it.
Back to the top of the round, Obsidian.
Okay. I think Obsidian will also. He will maneuver himself to in between these guys, so he's hanging back like we're presenting a united front, but he's not going to do anything. He's just. He'll cure another 3 points with a standard
Nice.
self-touch.
Yes.
And just let his skellies go to work.
And they do their deeds. Let's
So
have it.
the first one, 2 attacks. They're not going for the grapple because it's dumb. 24.
24 is a hit.
And oh no!
Oh god. More 20s and 1s than...
And then a 20, so it's not a fumble,
Not a
it's
fumble.
just a miss.
Mhm.
So the first one just gets us. How many 20s and 1s am I getting? So the first one gets damage 15.
Okay.
The second one will go for 2 attacks. That is a 15.
That is a miss.
But he's next to the shade.
Oh,
so
yeah, that is a hit.
effectively a 17.
Yep, that's a
Okay,
hit.
lovely. And the second attack is a 28.
Also a hit.
Sorry, I completely forgot how numbers worked for a second there.
No.
I just zoned out
3d6.
in the numbers.
I know, I can't just let you do it.
66.
66 plus
66.
16, so 29. Few ones in there, but never mind. 29 points of slashing damage.
It staggers around.
They
It's
just
looking
continue to
haggard,
go to
but
town.
not finished by any stretch. Anything else on your turn, Obsidian?
I just stare intensely.
Ansel, it's your turn.
yeah, I'll chuck another Eldritch Blast at it.
Oh,
And that 20, so that's definitely it.
Beautiful.
9 points of damage to match that beautiful 20.
yep, slams into it. It gives another guttural roar. Anything else on your turn?
No, that's it for now.
On its turn, it's going to strike the one on its left, I believe. So, Obsidian, what is its armor class? The skelly on its left.
16.
That is a hit. Oh! 38 points of bludgeoning damage. Boom! Just smashes as hard as it can.
All right.
Okay, that is its turn as it gives a guttural, bloody yell. Runic.
I'm sorry, I thought you said Ansel then. I was looking at
Nope.
Dom like, come on,
Your
Dom, what are you
name
going to do?
is-
And
Your name is Runic.
You forgot your name, didn't you, for a minute?
I was half expecting to say Laster. It's
For
still force of
shame.
habit.
Speak it.
I'm sorry, Runic. He will spend a move action to channel his psionic focus.
Okay.
Normally it's a full round action, but he's got an ability that means he can do it as a move action.
Nice. Okay.
Thank you, Feet. I just need to roll a concentration check to make sure I can do it.
Okay.
DC is 20.
Okay.
Oh no!
You
That's
struggle
okay.
to do it. Yeah.
I can do another root move reaction. Then in my standard action, I will let loose another bolt.
Shoo!
14.
That is armor class.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a shame.
A miss, unfortunately. Vanishes over its shoulder. Anything else on your turn?
That is it.
Back to the top of the round, Obsidian.
Well, so first things first. Moderate is a 2. Serious is a 3. And serious is 3.
3d8
I think.
and 50.
Yeah, 3d8 plus...
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll plus your level. So I will move forward and I will cast and inflict serious wounds on that guy to begin with.
Okay, yeah, nice. Roll it up.
So he gets 26 points of health back.
Nice. Yeah, you're fixing and working shop on him, fixing him whilst he's being smashed to pieces from the other direction.
Oh, yeah.
Just putting bones back
Bones
in.
back in, yeah.
That's actually, no, genuinely, he's all cracked and broken. And essentially what happens is he just concentrates and, like, the bones just click back into place and, like, fixes him up. And then those two will once again go to town on him with full round of attack. So the first one that I've just healed goes for 2 attacks. One is a 29.
Hits.
The other is a 17.
Hit.
Lovely stuff. So that does 30 points of damage.
Look at all them ones.
Yeah, man. He is getting. They do continue to get their ones, don't they?
Yep.
And the other one goes for another full round of attack. That's a 21
That's a hit.
and an 18.
Also, both hits.
Yes.
Smashing
All sixes
into
this time,
the
come on.
creature. Yep.
40! Finally! Broke through the 30s there. Lovely stuff. So yeah, they're just slashing and wrenching.
Staggering
And
wildly.
it almost seems like they move just a little slower than they should for the amount of cutting that they do, because they're just they're calm in their movements. Weirdly,
It gives
eerily
this
calm.
terrible scream as it sort of just tries to pull itself forward further, but your attacks just keep smashing into it again and again and again. Okay, that's your turn, Ansel.
Yep, just another Eldritch Blast from a safe distance.
Yep, makes sense.
Another 20.
Oh, brutal.
So annoying.
Roll 20 is mocking us.
Yeah.
It is mocking us.
14 points of magical lunar energy.
Slams into him. It's just gutturally screaming at this point. It's its turn. It's going to continue its assault against that skeleton that you're healing. It isn't, super bright, so it's just going to keep doing that. I rolled.
So 16 is armor class.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Mm-hmm.
32 points of bludgeoning damage. It seems to be weakening ever so slightly as you slam into it again and again and again. That was at -2. It is still cursed, by the way. Not the weapon damage, the attack, I mean. Okay.
Should be both, I think, actually.
That skelly
but
is
it's not using a weapon.
smashed, but still alive.
Or does it count as its weapon? I should have asked, really.
What's that?
I don't
using it as a
know.
mix.
Just say it doesn't count for now. I'll double check. But
We'll work it out, yep. That's its turn. Runic, it's your turn.
Wouldn't it be a natural weapon, though?
I don't know.
Anyway, Runic again will try to calm his mind in the centre of a storm that is this combat and attempt to get his psionic focus back. He does not again.
That's 2 1s on attempts on your psionic focus. Dude, that's so unlucky.
The situation is like getting out of hand now. Like it should have died at this point, and you're like, "Why isn't it falling?" And you're just struggling to concentrate.
The smell of blood.
Yeah, smell of blood.
Everything is throwing Runic off.
I would say the room is a bit bonkers, isn't it?
My God,
there is also a whirling vortex of faces just stood in the corner.
Yes, come and join us. Come and play.
No wonder you can't concentrate. You're like,
no,
I have a headache.
And speaking
well, he
of
did
the
overchannel earlier, so his blood is still just drying on his, just there and across his eyes.
Speaking of the forces of the undead, oh sorry, you still have yet to go because you've done that. Well,
yes, that was a move action, so I will then use my standard to loose the bolt from his crossbow.
Okay, yep.
18, so 20.
It's a hit. I should have said your piercing damage to your crossbow earns you an extra d6.
Oh, okay. I'll do it separately just because it's probably a bit quicker. That is 10 points in total.
Crossbow bolt sinks deep into its flesh. It staggers. And then gives a burst of feral energy and throws itself forward with a screech that belies its death throes. Perhaps you do not know. We will find out. Anything else on your turn, Runic?
That's it.
Obsidian.
I'm not going to try and heal this one again because it's had its lifetime. I'm just going to back up.
Everything has its time. This is the last round that these two are actually in existence anyway. Oh, dear.
Oh shit.
This is it. At the end of this attack, they both just crumble to the floor. So, 2 attacks from the first one. Oh dear.
Oh.
Just a miss. Second attack is a 15, which would be 17 because he's got the shade
So
near
it
him.
hits, yeah.
So that's 1 hit from that bad boy. A 22.
Hit.
No, that was
Sorry,
the damage.
22's damage, sorry. Yeah,
22
yeah.
damage from the first hit, and then the second one will go for 2 attacks at a 24
Yep.
and an 18.
Both hits.
So it's threw itself forward and like bouncers, the pair of them have just grabbed it, shoved it, and just torn back into it. 40 more points of damage.
At a combined total of 297 points of damage. Obsidian, as your summons collapse into nothingness, what is it like as they finish the fight?
So I think they claw in, and then they crumble, and the last things to disappear are kind of spiked claws sticking out of this thing as it wavers, and then falls just in pieces, and they just crumble, and there's like a puff of dust on the floor that settles on the surface of the liquid and just sort of moves like a shine on the surface.
And this thing falls backwards, and like I said, it's like they've been pooling this blood this whole time. This thing looks like some ghastly burst balloon, almost. This thing has just been blood within it, and it just becomes nothing and sinks beneath the crimson. Congratulations, you have defeated the Blood Hulk Crushers. And it is at that victory I think we shall take an overdue break. So for those of you watching live now and after the fact, thank you ever so much for dropping by. And we'll be right back.
They were sick, man.
Sick! They were sick!
Sick.
We are back. Don't. We're back from the break, and the strangers stand victorious over the Blood Hulk Crushers. And now they are free, it seems, to continue their investigation of the pillar that is in the Cave of Blood. What do you do?
Have the skeletons been turning the whole time?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
you told them. Yeah, in that case,
They didn't
yeah,
stop, did they?
absolutely. In that case, then, in that part, during that battle, at some point, you would have heard the "gudung," a very similar sound, like a great counterweight had been shifted throughout somewhere in this complex, throughout somewhere in this ruin. The skeletons stand ready, having completed their task.
They'll probably have disappeared
Okay.
as well, won't they? If the
Oh, yeah, they would have disappeared
Oh,
around
yeah, so they'll
before,
have collapsed.
actually.
They'll have well, that's fine. That would have been more than enough time to complete their task. So there you go. Zoom.
Yeah. But there doesn't appear to be any other doors or anything.
No, this appears to be
That I
some
can see.
strange. Well, obviously the pillar was placed here some time ago. You suspect?
you said that the cave looked like it had been eroded. Has it been eroded by the blood?
Maybe.
Oh,
Um,
that's disgusting.
Do you dare say that this this particular pillar would have been buried away a long time ago during the ruin and rubble of this place? So they had to get to
Maybe
it.
somebody thought the best way to get it out was to pour blood until it.
Yeah. Well, the great strength of these things would have been good to do that. But yeah, the blood that's poured from them, it clearly has had some kind of effect there, at least.
I was really hoping there'd be another way out of this chamber, because I know we're going to get over that gap again. That's so risky.
Oh yeah, the gap, of course. Yeah, so your vision now moves there. Then you do also realise that this is a good place for you to consolidate your strength, perhaps because you only have one way to guard. But of course, you are in a room full of blood, so I dare say you won't be able to rest particularly peacefully with that around. You're also all, I should point out, completely drenched in blood.
Good. I was really hoping we'd be completely drenched in blood.
Absolutely.
I'm happy. Like a blood bomb.
Well, at least you're in like all leather, aren't you? So that's wiped clean.
Is there anything you wish to do whilst you linger here? You also, just a reminder, you just, I mean, you don't have to look into it now, but you do have those things that you discovered at the end of the last session, those items before. You've not actually investigated what they do. You also obviously have quite a lot to explore still of this place, so up to you what you do next.
I think we should finish exploring. I don't think that we would stop and go through our belongings and look at stuff and figure out what they do partway through this. Quite
That's
intense.
absolutely fine by me, no problem at all.
So,
Let's conquer the small
see
gap.
if one of the doors that we've encountered that are locked is open, the one on the opposite side of us now, or the one in the main room. Yes, of course. The small gap.
The greatest of enemies.
We'll need to travel.
Need a 20-foot run up at an angle.
Well, yeah, I'd allow that. You can just about make that, I can see, so that's fine. Yeah, DC 10 to leap over the gap.
Go on, guys.
Well,
Only that
I'll
you
just
better chance than me.
attempt it, I guess. Oh boy! Help me!
So as they run over the edge, Ansel, I'm afraid to say, with a 1, does a bracken and just just sprints over the edge and plummets over into the darkness. For God's sake.
God.
Oh no.
He tumbles into the darkness. However, as you were both positioned there, you will get a reflex to try and catch him.
Hope this works. What is my reflex? It's not very good.
Mine is surprisingly quite good. 24.
11.
DC was 15. Runic, you... Obsidian, you just whiffed him. You just, like, go to grab him and just don't get anything. Yeah. Runic, though, dwarven stability, sure hands grab hold of you, Ansel, and you are now dangling over the edge. You can make a climb or a jump aided by Runic's strength modifier.
Is there one that feels easier?
Well, actually, I'll tell you what. We'll see the best of both worlds, because I think it's unfair to not allow Runic to roll to try and pull you up. So Runic, you. I'm going to say
now. Also, now Runic's got hold of him. I won't be much help. I'm on -1, but I can help a little.
Okay, you both can try just strength checks, unless you can argue something else to pull him up. I'd say it's probably strength, and then Ansel, you can do one to try and save you.
Actually, not bad, mate, for me.
Shall I do a climb then?
Yeah, you can do a climb. Do you remember you get a bonus as well to climb? Whoa!
Yeah, that's why it's 5.
So, Runic is able to stop you from plummeting over the edge, and then, with a bit of Runic's guidance, how do you pull yourself back up, Ansel?
I think he fully just climbs like a spider on top of Runic. And he ends up just sort of like perched on his shoulders in a slightly awkward fashion. Like clinging on.
Runic, it's then that you realise that Ansel has double elbow joints on incredibly long arms.
Oh, good God. What have I got myself into?
It's definitely a good question.
Welcome to the Strangers.
Welcome to the Strangers.
Thanks for the assistance.
Maybe one day.
Way more elbow joints than you might think.
Yeah. Okay. So, you are still all on the wrong side of the gap.
My turn, says Runic.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Right.
DC 10.
Such a low DC.
Again,
same as last time.
As you arrived, as you leave.
You love that little gap.
You hurl yourself over the gap.
That's your favourite gap.
Yeah. Fucking soars over the gap. And lands on the other side with space to spare. You're on the other side now, so if you are able to catch someone making the jump, you'll be able to pull them up onto your side instead.
I knew I'd make it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Who's next?
There's a pile of wooden planks here, look.
Yeah, there are.
Almost like some sort of problem-solving situation.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Laid out right there.
Are you
Runic?
good at building things?
No, but I'm not good at jumping more.
I'm not good at...
Unless you want me to just have a go at jumping it, maybe Runic go and get the planks and see if we can do something with that situation. Have you got any rope? Because otherwise they're useless. They're far too short.
You must have rope. Everyone has rope.
I have...
You actually don't have rope. What's wrong with you?
I haven't got any rope.
Basic
Do
provisions.
you even D&D, mate?
I have camp provisions. And you may
Hordes
have
of the
noticed
undead do not need rope.
his ever full mug. So I don't have rope
I have
either.
necromantic power.
Yeah, well,
I have the power of the
necromantic
mind.
power has yet to fucking fashion you away across this gap without psionic
Necromantic
intervention.
power can beat things really well, but it can't get me out of a net, and it can't get me over a small gap.
The net haunts us to this day.
Really need to start thinking about more practical things.
Runic returns with the planks of wood. They are plentiful, and you will easily be able to prop them over the 10-foot gap. You
Is it then a balance check?
It is a balance check, which relies on dexterity rather than strength.
I'm going to jump instead of balancing. Because my balance is shite.
You jump.
Let Obsidian go first, because then if I
here we go.
smash the wood out the way, we're not... Can I use my long reach to give him an assist on the balance and just like reach out and hold his hand?
Yes, you can, because you got 10-foot reach.
Like the rails on a bowling alley.
Can you imagine if you got a TPK with a small
10-foot gap?
You were this close.
I did it as an afterthought. Okay, yes, you can reach over, but he is sort of tumbling, so I'm going to say then that you can give me a... what would you argue? What would you argue is helping him with your claws to get him over the edge before, like, because he's falling at this point. Give me a reflex, I think it'll be the thing, but you can reach him because you're fast enough.
I think my reflex is 7.
And Runic, you can do one also, because he's going towards you.
13.
Oh dear.
That is a failure. That, however, as a success. So as Obsidian falls forward, Ansel's claws whips him, and then, but thankfully, Runic is there and grabs hold of you, Obsidian.
He just grabs hold of like my bit of leather cloak, my short cloak on top of my long cloak, and I'm just looking down into the abyss.
Now, Runic, you may do a strength check to pull him up. Obsidian, you can do a climb check.
Oh no. This could be made so much worse. I'm on a -1.
Why?
Essentially, I just go stiff as a board. Hope that he can lever me back.
You aren't able to pull him up, so you're just dangling there with him. You don't have the strength to pull him up. You have to find another solution to get him up there, up that drop.
Obsidian is just going, help! Help!
Okay.
I don't want to move.
Runic will do what he did last time. And he will grip him.
Okay.
His mind.
Yes. Will psionics save the day? Let's find out.
I don't need to, unless he's fighting against it again.
Yep, so you're able just to grab Obsidian as he begins to float into the abyss. Let's not forget the Ring of Featherfall. He floats down into the darkness.
Oh,
oh
crap.
Grab him with my telekinetic maneuver, and I essentially walk him backwards using him, but grappling him from a distance.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah, so you are successful in bringing him up, and yeah, I wonder how you feel, Obsidian, about that.
Squeezed.
Ansel, you're still on the other side of the bridge. What do you do?
I'm gonna jump.
Okay, you can make a jump.
Hey, that's better.
And you learn from your prior errors, and yeah, you land on the other side. The challenge is over.
Fucking ridiculous.
The battle with a
I feel like the
gap is over.
The first time Runic caught him, you know when you pick up a cat that doesn't want to be picked up and it just like starts claiming you? I feel like that's probably what it was like.
Amazing. I love that very much.
Oh man. That small gap was Tough.
It was nearly the end of 2 of us. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why
we're
haven't
gonna
we
get
got any skills?
High XP for beating that small gap.
So after
Challenge rating 15 small gap.
yeah,
And Rob has frozen for me.
have I?
Has he? He's not
Has he?
frozen for me.
No, you're
He's
the
not
one.
frozen
mate.
on the stream.
You're back.
No, you're
You're
back.
fine. Oh, I'm
No, you.
No, you. The challenge is over for the gap. The gap is behind you. The world is ahead.
Gap of Rohan.
And there are many paths to tread. But let's focus on this one for now. As you move your way back to where you had gone in, once again your eyes fall upon that dial. But as you round the corner, you see a brilliant column of light is now beaming down into that diagonal chamber, and it is glistening upon the dial. And it appears to fill the entire room with this brilliant light that you must imagine is reflected from far, far above. The caller in the darkness gives a low hiss at the sight of it.
But it's in this room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming from there, yeah.
So he'll go around the corner and just linger in the sort of shadow of that wall. Shall we, boys? Let's have a look, see what we've got.
Yeah, so now as you move around the corner then, you see that there is, the door is there, but it is now illuminated. There are a number of reflective surfaces on this pillar that is shining upon the door. And now upon the door, where it was once completely invisible, there now appear to be great levers that you will be able to pull down to open the door.
help. My character is stuck.
Oh, you put yourself on a wall, didn't you?
You put yourself on a wall. So I'll grab
It's
you
the
one
gap,
second.
now the wall.
There you go.
Thank you.
Did we want to get the treasure before we go through the door?
There is also another door to the south, or if you go to the first entrance, there was also that door there that you were yet to go through. So there's that to consider as well.
We should try the big door.
Do we have anything reflective?
Got various weapons and armors, I think, haven't we?
Who keeps closing that door?
Something wrong with the door, Mike.
Yeah, you imagine that if there was a mirrored surface, you'd be able to reflect the light, so it strikes the dial in the same way as you managed to do it with the daylight pellet for the other one. But of course, this one denotes a different time of day that needs to, or a different light of day that needs to shine upon it. So it's
noon.
It's kind of up to you. Yeah, well, it said noon in the rhyme, so you imagine so.
A spot of noon. I don't know where noon would be on that dial, if it's a sort of standard clock, whatever on.
Yeah, directly there. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's going to be difficult to get the light to hit it from that direction. You're going to need to bounce and then somehow bounce. You're going to need like 3 mirrors, which we don't have at the moment. Shall we?
Can we refract the light through Runic's gem buddy?
Well, I was thinking he could go above the sundial to send it down. So
Still got to get it from this room, haven't you, through this door?
Yeah, and if you could reflect the light from the column back through the door.
I don't know that we can. We haven't got anything very reflective.
We have metal
What we do,
weapons.
Hansel's mirror. Yeah, but that's not a mirror. They're not mirror reflective, are they? They're also, we're all smothered in blood. They're definitely not reflective now.
Well, none of us used weapons, so the weapons are all away, aren't they? Like, we've got various swords and things we picked up. And
I wonder.
It's so kind of you to give us.
Yeah, which one of us is a good boy?
Just all of you, all of you.
It's a
I
collective
realised
boy.
I was muted on the stream, but not on there. I was saying night to my dog, but yeah, you guys can take that as well.
Thanks, man.
Let's just try this big door. Come on.
You want to try the main door over there?
Yeah, let's do the big door. Let's do the big door. We can mop up little bits afterwards. I want to see what's in this room.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Unless you're dead set against it, guys.
Well, there are those
No,
two large.
let's do all the things you want to do.
Two large levers then are kind of like in the door almost that you could then pull down like that that weren't visible at all until the light of the sun had fallen upon them. The light of the sun has shown you the way, and with a gesture you'd be able to open them. Well, not a gesture, but with a movement, with an action, yeah, you'll be able to move them.
You're Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Is it your intention to do that then? You can pull the levers. Which of you pull the levers?
Well, Runik's still got to earn his place in the party. I think he should do both
By
levers.
putting himself into danger.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, last time I do us a favour for Swiftstone, eh? Right. Who's with me for the other one?
Your odds of dying are less because you've been in the game for less time.
I'm not sure that's
No,
how
that's-
it works.
Is it not?
Especially my trend of characters in the past.
I'll happily do the other.
Thank you.
Very good.
I will stand over here like a noble chap.
Chump. Or
Like a noble chap.
Yeah, so you wrench the levers,
Oh.
and another mechanism rolls about, and you see another layer of the door that then rolls back as well.
Ooh.
And a brilliant light, eerie and green, corrupted and sickening, blazes. Before you, you see a vast chamber. Its walls are mighty and tall, and they rise up high to a ceiling that is well, really, you can just see the sickening light whirling around it. There's a great pillar in the center that you can see, and atop that pillar there is the most mysterious, strange-looking object. It appears to be made of black glass, but glass that appears to be molten hot, shifting and changing, refracting the green light that appears to be pouring down into it. You see, every now and then, the sign of what is unmistakably, particularly to you, Obsidian, spirits, zoom, 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 being dragged down from on high and being pulled
know what
down
this is.
into what could only be the Fugue Prism.
Prism.
There is a figure that stands there, and you recognise their adornment. You recognise these figures to be members of the cult of the Lightbreakers. There is a number that stand in sort of like blue-black rows, but there is one individual in particular that has sort of off-white looking tarnished robes. And he turns with a leering face and says, I was assured by the Bloodfather that we would not be interrupted, even by ducks.
Sorry, that's my alarm. Just got to go get some bread out of the oven. I won't be a moment. Sorry.
My ducks. Ah, the timing of it. It couldn't have been better.
He's
man.
looking. That's okay. Don't worry. He's looking at you then, and you can give me a knowledge arcana or a knowledge religion about looking at this first of all.
28.
Knowledge arcana.
Beautiful. Yes.
I could do a religion, but I don't know if I have the backing, really.
You can do a religion, but it won't
30.
be for... Okay, well, you know everything there is to know. But no. We'll say because of that you know roughly what this is. But given that the Strangers have been doing a lot of research, they'll obviously have far more context about this.
Yeah.
So we'll begin with you
remember...
first then. Go on.
Okay.
No, go on.
I said, you remember Alden had every knowledge?
Yes.
I, too, have every knowledge.
Every knowledge. My mind is... Oh, very good. So, so you're looking at this, and you see it purely for what it is. You're seeing this energy, this undeath, be pulled towards it. This could only be a phylactery that's under the influence of like a magic jar spell, which is the spell that you can use to pull souls and trap them in objects. But this is on a mass scale, okay? Obsidian, you already know this about the Fugue Prism.
Yeah, been reading about it.
But what you know, and thankfully you know this due to research as well as that excellent roll, is that the Fugue Prism is named that because a prism not only takes in light, but it refracts it, it changes it. As does the Fugue Prism with the souls of the dead. It is pulling the souls in and changing them in some way. They are under the influence of this power. And as it appears to be morphing and changing, you can give me a spot check, please. And it's going to be a really hard one, but all of you can do that. In fact, it's probably only going to be Obsidian and Ansel that will have the relevant background knowledge to know.
Well,
what
then,
this is.
come on, Ansel. Because I got a 13.
I mean, my spot shit.
I believe in you, Ansel.
11.
19.
My belief was misplaced.
Yeah, you see the faces of many different people, Runic. It's odd. It's almost like the Core in the Darkness, a collection of entities that's been brought into one place, of undead entities been brought into one place. It's like looking at that, but through black, shifting molten glass. So with all of that ahead then, Obsidian, Ansel, you don't see any particular faces that stand out to you with that spot check, unfortunately. The man then turns to you in these off-white robes and says, and repeats once again, how is it that this time we are interrupted? I was assured that our position here was sealed, so our work could continue.
Before we reply, can I quickly use see invisibility because I want to see if Grin is in the room?
Yeah, of course you can.
It's at will, so I don't have to cast anything.
Yeah, so you
just
look about. You do not see Grin in here, invisible or otherwise. Even looking up into the lofty heights of the ceiling above, where the souls are being dragged in from the darkness on high, you don't see Grin.
I will, with absolute confidence, walk into the room. I will activate my wink brooch, so I get a +2 on my bluff. And I will say, you weren't informed because you didn't need to know. We have been sent by the mighty Bloodfather, and we want to know what exactly is going on here. We've heard reports that this facility has been infiltrated.
Okay, that is going to be very high DC for reasons I will divulge depending on what happens. Make a bluff check, I guess, if that's the one you want to do.
Yeah. 22. Could have been a better roll, but
Could have been.
+2.
Albeit a natural 20 on the die, not even kidding. But he will also turn to you and say, "Fool, I know who you are. You standing before me in your costume. We have been warned by the Bloodfather of your gang, your intrepid group of interfering fools. We were warned that you had been clumsily clattering about the city in some pathetic attempt of investigating our work here."
I will take one more sort of half step forward, so I've got 1 foot on the bottom step. And I want to do an intimidate this time.
Yes.
Tried diplomacy.
Yeah, tried diplomacy. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I want to say, you were warned, and yet still you have not been able to stop us from getting this far. And now you're all going to die.
As he's saying this, could I also attempt to channel my psionic focus?
And that's a 40 intimidate.
If only you'd got that for diplomacy, you could have talked him right out of his...
Right? Well, my intimidate is significantly better.
A will save, which is nowhere near that amount. I don't think it would be possible for him to resist. You watch Obsidian as this cult, not a leader, but a cult lieutenant of some kind, just crumbles at your words. And he says, I know we're all going to die. But it is the price that we agreed. It is the cost of our service to our great master. Who shall repay us? He promised. There is nothing you can do to us that can surpass that destiny. He looks to his...
But he has literally shot himself.
Oh, he's literally like leaning back against the pillar, and he looks over to his comrades and he says, "It is time, brothers." And they nod. And producing vicious daggers, they each draw them across their own throats. As they enact this death pact, and as they collapse to the ground, already you're seeing their essences wisping up into the thing, into the fugue prism, and the one remaining, the lieutenant, will say, "This must all be for something. This all had to happen at the right time, at the right place. It took the power of a master vampire and the death of a king. A king whose soul, like everyone else's, has been pulled into the fugue prism. But unlike everyone else, the king has a heritage. The king has a bloodline beyond any mere mortal. The aura and essence of his house remains beyond death, and he just draws the dagger across his throat as well, collapsing to the ground. You hear something just click, an almost imperceptible tuning of a magical frequency as the man dies. You can give me a spellcraft check if you have it.
Oh dear.
26 from Ansel.
Well done, Ansel. Much better.
So the man collapses to the ground.
Obsidian's too busy trying to look intimidating.
I'm doing a fine job of it.
And Ansel, you got... Oh, wow. Was that 32 from Runic?
No, that was...
Oh, no, that was...
Sorry.
That was
So
the focus
Ansel,
I did a while back.
you got 26. You've heard a story about this. You've heard stories about master tacticians of immense magical power that will cast spells that will only activate when certain conditions are met. A contingency spell activates the moment the man dies. And as he collapses to the ground, you see what he's talking about. You see what the lineage of old King Dectus has wrought. What his soul looks like as it emerges from the fugue prism. A vast shape looms in the reflection, and then bursting forth, you see a shape that is unmistakable.
Oh shit. Dragon.
A huge dragon bursts forth in a cloud of wisping vapours. The form is recognisable. It's blue like scales, half see-through. Unmistakable as a blue dragon, but this is a creature that has returned from death. And as the ghost dragon throws its wings wide and bares its feral teeth, that is where we're going to end the session tonight.
Oh, fuck.
Oh boy. Didn't think I'd find a dragon.
A ghost dragon.
A ghost dragon, yeah, sorry, a ghost dragon.
Ghost dragon.
Oh boy.
We gonna be a ghost dragon?
Oh boy, oh boy.
We gonna be a ghost dragon? Holy crap.
My PowerPoints are depleting.
My presentation! My slideshow!
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that was probably going to be the right call. I think because the battle ahead is going to be a big one, and I thought rather than try and rush it, better that we save that for next time.
It's gonna be a big one against another thing that we can't hit, guys. Are we fighting another one? We could barely hit the last thing that was incorporeal.
Yeah, it is. It is incorporeal because he is a
If
ghost.
we will fight undead
ghost
things.
dragon. Yeah. So this whole thing about talking about the fact that that the the line of Valdenor has always had like a sense of draconic ancestry. Yeah, that fugue prism that changes souls has clearly unlocked something from the soul of old King Dectus, making him pretty old dragon, to be fair. Which that should, if that doesn't worry you, then I don't know what will. But yeah, we have that to look forward to.
Oh, it does.
That's
don't worry.
to look forward to next
does.
session. Yeah.
Not to worry, it does.
So I mean, I'm happy to. Yeah, we'll call it there. Unless you guys want to do stuff with treasure, but you said you weren't going to. But you might need.
Might need
to.
to.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
I mean, I suppose if we came across things earlier that we found that might be useful.
You did say you weren't looking, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't. It doesn't make sense that in an intense dungeon you stop and go through loot. To me, it just doesn't.
All right.
But at the same time, I still want to, just in case there's something that can hit incorporeal stuff.
Not from the ones you rolled, I'm afraid. I don't think. But all right, that I think that's fair enough. We won't then. In that case, I think it's it's fair to say you might be able to discover things that might help you during the battle. It's gonna escalate. It's gonna escalate.
We shall see.
We shall see. So we'll leave it. We'll definitely leave all of it there. Then in that case, so we'll just conclude then with closing thoughts for the session. We'll start with Ansel. Dom, thoughts as we close out.
I wasn't planning on fighting an incorporeal dragon. That's a worry, innit? That's a worry. Didn't predict that with all of Ansel's magical device insight. He didn't figure that could happen. So that's quite scary.
Yes,
just a little bit.
Matt, thoughts as we close out.
A very similar thought process. I didn't think corporeal dragon. Holy crap! Yeah. I don't know. I'm just sort of taken aback by how bonkers that is, and how we might have to run away. I don't want to keep running away. I want to fight stuff. But it is. I mean, that is a tough opponent that we are not prepared for at all.
It's a big boy.
We just can't hit stuff that's incorporeal. Now I think about it, my summons can, I think, because of the feat, they do the cold damage, which makes that magic, so they can do magic damage. So they do have the 50-50 chance of actually hitting, which makes the fight slightly more possible, I guess. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Fingers crossed.
Spot on. And closing thoughts for Mike. Any thoughts as we round out the session?
I mean, I do have a few tricks to deal with some incorporeal things, but my PowerPoints, Dom, are substantially depleted.
You heard it here first, folks. Runic has the power to defeat the ghost dragon, so we'll see that next time.
Yeah. That's what you heard from that, is it?
Yeah, he said he has things to use.
I have some tricks.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a good one, and not long until that's around the corner again. So in that case, let's sign off. So for those watching live and after that, thank you ever so much for dropping by. If you like this video, give it a like, and if you would like to see more like it, give us a subscribe. And please come and watch us live. Give us a follow. Come and enjoy the fun as it happens real time.
We might die next time.
We definitely might die. Yeah,
here for that.
This is not going to be a.
I've got a character ready.
Definitely not going to pull the punches on this one. It is a dragon. It's a proper powerful foe. So we're going to have to see what happens next time. Tune in next time on Roll the Bones. And as we say on Roll the Bones, roll them bones. I don't know. Let's just leave. Thank you very much for watching. Take it easy. See you next time.
That was beautiful.
The dragon
Really
has
beautiful.
thrown my brain. That took all of my.
thrown all of us.
Your
creative
brain, you knew it was
power.
there.
I know. That's how crazy it is. Even even for me. Even for me.
Bone them rolls.